Today on Monkey Life, vet day for Marmoset Clyde, who comes in for a snip, but ends up minus a few teeth too.
That one there is this. So that's come out, I think, ideally.
The maintenance team begin adapting Brian's outdoor enclosure to meet the needs of disabled chimp Chola, due to be rehomed from Kenya.
We're just going to do the best we can for Chola and carry on knowing that she really has no other option at this point in her life.
And a lesson in tool use from Oshine for the nursery orangutans. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
The owners are going to be upset to say goodbye, but they're doing the right thing.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 24 different species. It's vet day, and two of the park's male marmosets are about to undergo a fiddly procedure. They both need vasectomies. First up is recent arrival Clyde, rescued from the pet trade. He came to the park in poor condition a number of months ago, but in that time, he's improved enormously. The correct diet, an outside enclosure, and a new friend and partner in Jenny have left him in excellent shape. But with her contraceptive implant running out, the team can't afford any unwanted pregnancies.
They're such a good pair, very well bonded. And now that Clyde is healthy and we're coming up to the time where Jenny's implant is running out, we need to make sure that Clyde is vasectomised.
Local vet David Holler has been called in to carry out the intricate surgery. But before he gets started, David gives Clyde an overall health check.
340.
340, yeah.
He's lost a small amount of weight, but nothing to be concerned about as his muscle mass is good. But a check inside Clyde's mouth reveals a few problems.
That one there is this. So we will... the upper premolars on the left. So that's come out, I think, ideally. That might explain why he's dropped a bit of weight.
David needs to remove 2 teeth, but they'll have to wait. The first order of the day is the vasectomy.
Yes, it's a very fiddly procedure. We're looking for a little tube that's less than 1 millimetre in diameter, contained within the vas deferens with blood supply and muscle. So you've got to identify, separate out, and tie off and remove a section of the vas deferens, leaving the muscle and blood supply.
David begins the procedure and manages to locate the tiny tubes quite quickly. Then it's just a couple of snips and he can tie up the loose ends.
Good.
The procedure takes less than 30 minutes, and with Clyde's heart and breathing rate steady, David can carry out the dental surgery as well.
He can do some senior locks as well. We've got pus pouring out of this.
The condition of Clyde's teeth is not unusual given his background.
Whilst the diet here is as good as we can make it, obviously all of these guys at Monkey World have come from the pet trade, so we don't know what he was fed in the important developmental years. All of that will have an impact on the strength of the teeth, and you know, the longevity of the teeth.
Once David has dealt with Clyde's teeth, he's popped back into his travel box to recover from the anaesthetic. Then he'll be taken back to the house to be reunited with mate Jenny.
Right, see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Next up is Brass, a pet trade hybrid whose ancestry is a mystery. He recently lost his friend Evie, his companion of more than 10 years.
You can never say the name Brass without putting Evie on the end of it, so it was a really sad day for everyone and a sad day for Brass. I mean, he arrived with him, he lived with him for years. And yeah, unfortunately, he's lost his little soulmate, his little buddy.
Brass clearly misses having company, and the primate care staff are keen to find him a new friend as soon as possible. But before they can start on any introductions, he needs a vasectomy and a thorough health check.
Well, it's a good time today while we've got him asleep to have a good look at him and see where we are.
Yeah.
The vasectomy is quick, and David can now examine Brass more fully. The Marmoset has been suffering from a fungal nail infection and fur loss for a while, and has been given steroids and antifungal medication. But the team still aren't happy with his progress.
I'm going to stop the steroid treatment and carry on just with the antifungals for now, because he had started to get a bit more fur back with the antifungals on their own, and his nails were looking better. As soon as we get the bloods back from this, if his liver's doing okay, we know that he's tolerating the antifungals, we may even just increase the dose of that slightly and see if we can accelerate his improvement. So.
With Brass recovering and a new treatment regime planned, hopefully it won't be too long before this strange little Marmoset meets a friend and starts a new chapter of his life. The nursery group of orangutans are in for a real treat today. The park has received a large donation of avocados and plantains, both of which provide excellent health benefits. And the primate care staff have come up with an interesting way of presenting them. They've mashed them up and hidden the mixture in pine cones, then popped them in the freezer.
We've frozen the pine cones to make it a little bit more difficult to get the food items out. If it's just avocado, orangutans are so clever and so used to all our enrichment activities that they're going to get that out really quickly. So if it's frozen, they've got to work a bit harder or be a bit more patient and sort of investigate the item a bit more.
The care staff enjoy thinking up new ways to keep the primate residents occupied.
Yay, it stayed.
And offer up new challenges.
We're quite restricted in what we can give these guys because they're very, very clever and they're very, very strong. Oshine likes to dismantle as many things as she can in the day, so we have to be a bit inventive about what we can do in a safe and enjoyable but enriching way for the orangutans.
Along with the pine cones, the orangutans are having a main meal of chopped up squash. With everything set, the group of 6 are let out. Kyan is first. She's the youngest in the group, and the unusual objects in the enclosure make her cautious. She may not have seen pine cones before. But the rest of the group have no such worries. They immediately gather up as many pine cones as they can and quickly tuck in. The plantains and avocados haven't defrosted yet, so getting at the healthy food isn't straightforward. Bulu uses his teeth to prise the fronds apart to reach the frozen treat. Rika tries a different technique, inserting her long, slender fingers and opposable thumbs between the fronds and then licking the food off. Following the example of the others, Kyan overcomes her initial fears and gets stuck in too. The matriarch of the group, 27-year-old Oshine, shows the rest of them how it should be done. In a demonstration of just how clever orangutans can be, she uses a stick as a tool to extricate the frozen food. It earns her an audience. Kyan and Hujan, the 2 youngest in the group, are keen to watch and learn.
The youngsters were gravitating towards Oshine, watching all her different techniques to get the stuff out of the pine cone. Oshine's been using a stick to try and prise the avocado out, so I think they're trying to learn from that and work out the best tactics to get the nice stuff.
It doesn't take long for Kyan to grasp the concept.
Look at the size of Bulu, he's got like 4.
Bulu is definitely at an advantage today. He's now a teenager, heading quickly to adulthood, and has grown massively. It's going to become an issue for the group and the primate care staff in the future.
Bulumata is growing up very quickly. He is getting bigger and bigger, and his behaviour is becoming far more like a teenage orangutan than a youngster. He's got his lovely Sumatran beard now. He's starting to bulk out. So at some point, Bulu is going to outgrow the nursery. We don't know exactly when, but it would be wise to start thinking about his future now, so we've got a plan in place when we need it.
One thing's for sure, today Bulu isn't going to share his pine cones with anyone, even a very persistent Mimi who has a habit of helping herself. She'll just have to try and purloin one from someone a bit smaller, like Kyan. No chance with Rika, who knows how to avoid sneaky thieves. She heads off to eat her treat in the quiet of the tunnel system. At the home of Chimp Brian and his group, it's all systems go in the outdoor enclosure. The maintenance team have started work adapting the climbing frames and platforms under the guidance of Alison and primate care staff member Sean. There's a very special reason for all the work. Alison has received positive indications that a 24-year-old female chimp called Chola could soon be heading to the UK from Kenya to take up residence at the park. The move has been a long time coming, mainly due to Chocola's long-term health problems.
There's nobody else really in the world that's prepared to give her an opportunity. I've searched, because I'm not sure that we'll be successful either, but I can't find any other options, and I've gone around different sanctuaries around the globe discussing Chola and her situation with other organizations, and nobody's really prepared to take her on. So we'll see. We're just going to do the best we can for Chola and carry on knowing that she really has no other option at this point in her life.
Chocola's disabilities are profound. She has partial paralysis down one side from stray bullet fragments suffered when clinging to her mum, who was shot. She doesn't have the use of her right hand or foot, so a lot of thought and planning has gone into adapting the enclosure. The challenge is to make it easier for Chola to move around without compromising the space and climbing apparatus for Brian's group of 6.
We're making best attempt here to try and provide her everything she needs down at a low level that the guys have up higher. She might try and climb, but we're at least giving her the opportunity to have a daily set of activities that she can do down low in this enclosure.
Although no firm date has been set for Chocola's arrival, the transport crate for her move has already left for Kenya. While the maintenance team continue with the makeover, Brian's group of chimps remain indoors. But the primate care staff are making sure they're kept busy and happy. They've brought a bit of the outside in, with lots of browse placed around the playroom, along with pillowcases stuffed with straw, hiding seeds and nuts. Brian's lot are a pretty solid group these days, although relative newcomer Kangu is still a bit wary of Ash. But it's how Chola will deal with being introduced to the other chimps that's currently on Alison's mind.
Emotionally, how is she going to cope? Is she going to be strong, confident lady, or is the sight of the other chimps just going to freak her out? It's probably going to be a little bit of both.
Only time will tell, as everyone waits for news from Kenya on when Chola will make the journey. For the last 2 weeks, the Woolly Monkey team have been busy moving a large number of their charges from one group to another. Entire woolly troops have also swapped houses. It's been a busy and essential task, which will benefit all 3 groups involved.
We do this on a fairly regular basis with the woolly monkeys because our groups are constantly evolving. We've got youngsters that are growing up, and then personalities will start to show, and certain individuals suddenly that used to get on don't get on anymore, and there's a change in dynamic. So we need to really roll with that and try and keep everyone as happy as possible. So these moves are essential.
Today's final moves involve Oriana, Isla and Carlos, who are leaving the top woolies and moving to the barn.
Oh, good girl.
And heading in the opposite direction, Ava, along with her 2 daughters, Catalina and Zena. After all the juggling, finally everyone is where they're supposed to be. And there's a huge sense of relief.
We just have to keep everything crossed that everybody's going to get on. But yeah, Carlos did well. They've all done really, really well, considering they can see what's going on over the last week. So yeah, it's gone well.
But more hard work is to come. In the coming days, the monkeys who've moved will be reunited with old friends and need to be introduced to new ones. One group who've already gone through that process are the park's newly formed cafe woolies. Females Paquita and Quappa joined a few days ago and have now met the 3 males who make up the group: Paolo, Claude and Enzo. Today is their final step. They're all going outside together.
All the monkeys have been perfect. They've all done exactly what we've needed them to do. So we want to make sure this can go as smoothly and as positive for everyone as possible.
The 5 are given access to the enclosure and Paolo heads out first, giving his usual exuberant display before food grabs his attention. The 2 females soon follow. There's some nervous excitement as they head out, offering each other a little reassurance as they go. Always helpful when entering a new space. Enzo does his best to impress the girls and attract their attention. But he gets little reaction from the 2 experienced ladies. Claude is the other male in the group. He's probably the largest woolly monkey at the park, but he's still young and very inexperienced. This new group have only been together a few days. But on their first day outside, they look comfortable in each other's company, eating, foraging, and lazing in the sunshine. Two of the park's golden-cheeked gibbons, Peanut and Peng Yo, are indoors enjoying their playroom, patiently waiting to be let out into their large tree-filled enclosure. Following the success of pine cones with the nursery orangutans, primate care staff member Sarah is going to try them out on the gibbons.
The socks are filled with some apple, some pecans, some monkey nuts, some almonds, just a variety of different nuts and some pumpkin seeds as well. I've also made up some primate pellet that has been soaked in squash overnight. And these are great because it makes the gibbons work and manipulate the pine cone using their really slim, slender fingers to get into all the nooks and crannies to get the goodies out. So I'm hoping they'll enjoy this.
It's been 4 months since Peanut and her partner Peng Yo first went outside into their revamped enclosure. The team immediately noticed a dramatic change in Peanut's mobility.
She's moving very slowly.
They were so concerned, vet David Holler was called in to give Peanut a thorough examination, including x-rays. And it appears the problem could be historical.
David the vet had a look at her and was able to deduce from the x-rays some sort of perhaps potentially older injuries, a couple of fused vertebrae, maybe an old break in the pelvis or hip joint that has caused it to reset in a different sort of angle and position, and that is obviously going to cause problems with her. Her arms are sound, very important for gibbons. They live the majority of their life up in the trees. They need their arms to move around, so her arms are pretty good, which is really important. It's just the legs, the lower body, that's where we need to build the strength up.
While they can't fix the problem, the team can manage it. A course of medication and a few adaptations to the enclosure have helped Peanut become more like her old self.
We are seeing improvements in her mobility. It is going to take time, and I think doing activities like this, especially as now we're coming into the winter months, it's more important than ever to get her moving and keep her moving out in the enclosure to build those muscles back up so that we can get her up to fine fitness again.
Today's enrichment is being hoisted high into the tree canopy in suspended pulley feeders. Peanut knows every inch of the enclosure and how to navigate the branches and hosing, but it'll still be a good workout for her. Everything is set, but first Sarah takes the opportunity to check Peanut over in one of the tunnels and give her a daily joint supplement.
Good girl. Good girl. She's taking the important things, and you can see that she's, up and down the tunnel, ready and rearing to go. So let's go let her out. Puppy!
Peanut heads straight out to investigate. Her range of movement and mobility are definitely better than a few months ago. The fact she can grab one of the loose socks suspended on the rope and head up high with it is another positive sign. Peng Yo isn't far behind his partner and spots a treat-filled sock on a post. Gibbon's hands aren't as dexterous as many other primates, but he still manages to manipulate the sock to reach the food inside. The pulley feeders have caught Peanut's attention, and she heads over to take a closer look. Gibbons live and feed in the tree canopy. They have special muscle adaptations, allowing them to easily brachiate from branch to branch and hang for long periods of time while feeding. Peanut may be keeping one feeder to herself at the moment, but Peng Yo is still managing to get his fair share.
Peanut can monopolise some of the food items, but as long as we spread it around and we give them more than they need, he'll definitely get some. He's actually quicker than Peanut is, and he's not daft. He's been living with her for quite a while, so he knows how to get his share of the food.
Today's enrichment has been a big success. Peanut's displayed good mobility around the enclosure and looks comfortable up in the trees where she belongs. Next time on Monkey Life, orangutan Mimi's on the move, graduating from the nursery to join Tuan's group.
It's not going to be for long. It's not a very long journey to Tuan's house. I can see it from the other side of the fence.
And a puzzle feeder is just too puzzling for besotted Saki pair Desmond and Neva. Today on Monkey Life, Alison heads to the Midlands to pick up a marmoset found wandering the streets of Wolverhampton.
It was seen running loose in a back garden and then sprinted inside somebody's house when they were putting their washing out.
After 14 years at the park and a much healthier lifestyle, previously hefty orangutan Oshine is persuaded onto the scales by Jeremy.
Let go. Go, girl. Okay.
And recently arrived Saki monkey Neva gives new mate Desmond the runaround. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
You just never know how it's going to work.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 24 different species. Alison has made a 4-hour journey to Wolverhampton to answer an SOS call from a local animal rescue organisation. Wings and Paws have taken in a Jeffroy's Marmoset, who's being cared for by one of their volunteers.
Always the interesting bit, never know what you're going to find.
The Marmoset, now named Marcel, is believed to be a male, but where he came from is something of a mystery.
Basically, it was seen a couple of weeks ago running loose in a back garden and then sprinted inside somebody's house when they were putting their washing out. So a local animal rescue organization has taken it on and has been looking after, they've named him Marcel, been looking after Marcel in the meantime, waiting to see if anybody comes forward to claim their Marmoset, and nobody has. It's hard to believe that a couple of weeks ago he survived several days out in the cold, but it's possible, I guess. So we're going to have to piece this together. It's a little bit of a mystery, and mainly try and get Marcel sorted out with an appropriate life.
It's not the first time Alison's rescued a Marmoset found roaming the streets. Back in 2018, female Freya was found on scaffolding in the Tower Hamlets area of London.
It's really dangerous. You know, it's cold overnight. They can't survive the temperatures overnight. There's a world of danger out there for them. So it's just awful. And it's an indicator that, you know, the trade is growing and expanding. When you start finding marmosets running loose on the streets of Britain, there's a problem with the pet trade.
For the last 2 weeks, while the rescue organisation tried to find his owner, Marcel has been looked after by a volunteer local family. With no luck tracing his origins, Marcel has had a temporary home in a small cage in one of the children's bedrooms.
Hello, mister. It's okay. So he's lost part of his tail.
With his concerned carers watching on, Alison tries to gain Marcel's trust.
Right, let's see if we can make friends a bit. I brought some waxworms, also some crickets.
Ooh, it's okay.
Ooh. So what have you guys been feeding him?
When he first came, he was absolutely starving, so he was eating anything. So I shopped to the shop, got him some cashew nuts, strawberry the first day, and then I Googled and it said you shouldn't give him too many fruits. So he's had a bit of boiled egg. He really likes the mealworm.
Here, try that. Try that one. It's tasty.
I feed him, but he spends, obviously it's Jacob's bedroom, so he's used to Jacob. And he sleeps in, that's his little bed that he absolutely loves.
Okay, so it'll be interesting to get a weight on him. Don't like the look of those. Oh, there is some solid feces, I was going to say. Normally they're a bit more firm.
Yeah.
Alison isn't too concerned about Marcel's condition.
Pretty active, pretty alert. Missing a third of his tail. It's a boy. I see some solid feces, but then what looks like a bit of a splodge as well, so we'll check that out. Yeah, pretty good. His mobility's good.
Now the tricky bit, persuading Marcel into a travel box.
Let's see if I can just marry the box up to the door, and I'm going to put some grapes and things inside of it. And then if it's okay, I'm going to ask if I can steal his hammock. Scent marking is so important to them.
Alison adds a few tasty treats, while Jacob takes the chance to say goodbye. With the travel crate married up to the cage, it's time to tempt Marcel to take a leap of faith.
Good boy, good boy, good boy.
Is he in?
He's in, I think. Yeah, he's in. Yeah, you're good. Ta-da.
Amazing. So happy for you, Marcel.
In a matter of seconds, he's in and secure.
He's pretty friendly.
He's calm, and it also is a testament to how you guys have looked after him. Thank you so much, because he's calm and confident, so that makes a big difference.
With Marcel content in the box, Alison takes the opportunity to collect a few samples.
This is just some of his poop that we'll look at in the hospital under a microscope, just to make sure that he doesn't have any parasites or bacteria that we need to deal with, so.
Alison is happy to assist Wings and Paws and take on Marcel. They've done their best for him over the last few weeks, but recognised he needed expert care.
Lovely. Thank you. No.
Best
Good luck with everything you guys do. Yeah.
It's been an unusual few weeks for the young male Marmoset, but he's now on his way to a new life in Dorset. The nursery orangutans are all outside enjoying the warm sunshine, having fun, or in Oshine's case, relaxing. There are 6 members of the group. The 2 youngest are 6-year-old Hujan and Kyan, born just 2 weeks apart. Mimi and Rika, 2 young females, are a few years older and heading to adolescence. But 9-year-old Bulu Mata is already maturing. In the last year, his appearance has changed dramatically. He's bulked up, his fur has grown much longer, and he now has the classic Sumatran orangutan beard.
Bulu has always been and still is a very sweet animal. But now he's grown up and really his personality is starting to change. He is less reserved now. He will push his weight around a little bit. He is still really playful though, and we see him interacting a lot with the younger animals in the group, so that's really good to see. But all of those changes now that he's starting to come into adolescence are what we would expect from a dominant male.
Bulu Mata's size and personality change have led to one member of the group becoming a little wary of the adolescent male. 27-year-old Oshine.
The behaviours that Bulu is displaying are really subtle. So he's not chasing Oshine, he's not pulling her hair or being nasty. He'll just sit next to her when she doesn't want him to sit next to her, or hold her hand when she doesn't want her hand held. So they're not horrible, he's just proving a point.
Bulu is now bigger than Oshine in both size and weight. It's a real turnaround. When the female arrived from South Africa in 2010, she was obese, weighing in at 100 kilograms. Oshine's upbringing was unique. Her owner, Brenda, bought her from an Indonesian zoo when she was just a baby. Growing up, the female orangutan had the run of the house and was food obsessed.
That's the dog's food. That's the puppy's food, sis, man. Come. Of course it's Puffy. Let's go. What do you want? Yeah. Okay, here's your custard.
And she had the run of Brenda's ranch too. It was an enormous and emotional decision for Brenda to part with Oshine and allow her to come to Monkey World. But she was becoming too much for Brenda to handle, and she also realised the humanised female needed interaction with her own kind.
On here. No, on here.
A few weeks after she arrived, Jeremy persuaded Oshine onto the scales.
Give me a hand. Let go back. Good girl. Good girl. And now we got to wait. Good girl.
Fast forward 14 years and Oshine is less than half that weight. But with the others growing up and getting more competitive, the primate care staff want to check Oshine's weight, so they're going to try and get her on the scales again.
Oshine is massively food motivated. She loves her food, so getting her to eat is not a problem. It's partly getting her to eat the right foods, and we want her to be active to build up that muscle as well, so she doesn't just pile on and get a tubby belly. But obviously we can't just give her the nice foods like the fruits and the roots. She needs to eat the leafy, like the lettuces and the other vegetables as well. But if we make that too challenging to encourage her to move and the food isn't as motivating, then she's not going to do it. So it is a really tricky balance.
Come on, darling. Come on.
Animal director Jeremy has arrived to help with the weigh-in. He first met Oshine in South Africa and encouraged her to sit on the scales because her obesity was a serious medical condition.
OK, everyone ready?
Yep. Come on, Sheenie. Sit in there. What does it say? Okay. Let go. Good girl. OK. Right.
40.3.
Right, now through here. Come on.
Good girl, Oshine.
40.3.
Yeah.
With a high-value treat as a reward, Oshine weighs in at 40.3 kilograms, a good weight for an adult female orangutan.
We're now at the point, really, where we don't want her to lose any more. It's just important that she has all of that muscle. She won't have as much as some of the other individuals just because the way that she's grown up. But she needs to be healthy. So she has the healthy diet. So we just need to make sure now that she's eating enough and moving around enough that we've got her at a stable weight. And now we know where we are with her, we can tweak her supplementary food in line with that to make sure that we are starting to put on that weight a bit more.
The group is still young and playful, but they're all growing up, and changes in the future are inevitable. The sun is out on a lovely autumn day, and the park's 3 spider monkeys are sunbathing in one of their favourite spots, an outside tunnel. The trio are about to be given an unusual fruit they haven't sampled before.
Does that look delicious?
Medlars.
Yeah? They've come over and everybody's had a good look, so yeah, I think they'll be quite excited to see what these are. They've never seen them before.
Katie is skewering the fruit on the trees and shrubs in the enclosure to encourage natural feeding behaviour and persuade the trio to use their bodies as they would in the wild. It's known as suspensory feeding.
They're going to have to forage around, they're going to have to climb a little bit and try and get hold of them.
The medlar fruits look like a cross between an apple and rosehip. But what will the 3 spider monkeys make of them?
OK, so...
Female Pumpkin is first in. She carefully examines one of the fruits on a branch. She's picky. Some are more ripe than others, and she tries another. That's not right either. Hanging from her long prehensile tail, she reaches down for another fruit. In the wild, spider monkeys are known to eat more than 250 species of fruit, which makes up more than half of their varied diet. Flint is also on the lookout for a juicy, ripe medlar. He's one of 2 males in the group. The other is Hickory, who's quite a bit older.
They've been trying the foods. Some of them have stopped and ate them, so they're definitely intrigued, but I'm not sure it's their favourite food to date.
In the wild, spider monkey groups are led by males. But female Pumpkin is in charge of this trio, and she's very food-focused. Hickory normally hangs back and lets his housemates get stuck in first. But today, he joins in straight away.
He quite often likes novel things. When we give them new bits of enrichment, one of his first reactions is often to come over and laugh about it. He sometimes holds back a little bit when it comes to food. He'll let the other 2 investigate, and then he'll go over after once they've lost interest a little bit. So, yeah, he definitely seems to like the fact that it's something new going on.
All 3 spider monkeys now seem taken with the medlars, which have a flavour similar to apple puree mixed with citrus.
Pumpkin's making lots of happy noises. She's obviously enjoying the fact that there's new stuff going on. Yeah, so it's just kind of the noise she makes when she's happy. It's a very strange kind of noise, yeah. There's nothing else I can think of that sounds quite like a spider monkey happy noise.
Pumpkin, Flint and Hickory eventually have their fill and head back to their favourite spot to enjoy the sunshine. It's almost 2 months since Saki monkey Neva arrived from Combe Martin Wildlife Park in Devon as a companion for Desmond. It was a big move for the 6-year-old adult female, but she's settled in well, and her relationship with the park's male Saki is going from strength to strength.
She was quite nervous when she arrived, lots of weird sounds and noises for her to get used to. Even though she's zoo-bred animal, she was also a little bit nervous about the public. I think the window was just a bit closer than what she was used to. But now she's doing really, really well. She's settled in lovely. She's formed a really nice tight bond with Desmond now. We're starting to see lots of really lovely grooming sessions. We've got quite a lot of sun at the moment, so big sunbathing and grooming sessions happening. And she really doesn't care about her weird adoptive son, which is Loki the Marmoset, who also lives in that enclosure.
Neva is very different from Desmond's former partner, Chloe, who was 30 years old when she passed away. This young female is confident and incredibly agile, particularly when navigating the ramps and branches in the outdoor enclosure. It's been a bit of an eye-opener for Desmond.
She's really curious, she's reaching around for leaves, she's looking at all of the blossoms and the buds and things that are coming through, and she's just really using the space. And I think Desmond is finding that a bit weird, that he's got a female that's sort of running here, there and everywhere, and he's got to keep up because he was used to a much more sedate lifestyle when Chloe was around.
The third member of the household, Marmoset Loki, who doesn't get on well with other marmosets, is also benefiting from the arrival of the young newcomer. He's happier living with the Sakis than with others of his own kind. But the team were a bit concerned how he might take to the new lively female.
So Loki actually seems quite happy that there's a new female Saki. We've seen them coexist. They'll sort of eat in the same areas. They don't bother each other. But we didn't think there was much relationship there going on. But actually, when Chloe passed away, Loki was a bit out of sorts. He was a bit quiet. He was a bit weirded out by everything. He actually seems really, really relaxed. And I don't know whether it's having this sort of younger, energetic animal in the enclosure. He is bouncing around through foliage. He's playing. He's sort of here, there, and everywhere. And he seems to have a little bit of a new lease of life as well.
It's a positive result all round. Loki has his bounce back, and Desmond has a new love interest.
So we're just delighted that this has gone so well. Now we've managed to get him this young female, even if she's keeping on his toes a little bit. It's just absolutely wonderful. So couldn't be happier that we've got a loved up match.
Following a 4-hour journey from the Midlands, Alison has arrived back at the park with Marcel, a male Geoffroy's marmoset found wandering the streets of Wolverhampton.
So, I think he's an escape artist.
Oh no.
He's missing the end of his tail, but he sort of tested every bit of the box the whole way. Yeah.
Alison takes Marcel into the Marmoset complex to release him into a temporary bedroom, where he can be assessed over the coming days.
There's some Geoffroy's.
While they prepare, staff member Lee examines the fecal sample Alison collected earlier on to test for parasites. The results will help the team to assess Marcel's health and ensure no infections are passed on to any other primate. It doesn't take long for Lee to get the results.
Yeah, pretty boring really, didn't find anything. You know, it's always very interesting when you find things, but good news so far that his sample, from what I've seen, is clear of any parasites. So I'll let the team know, but I will ask for a second sample tomorrow so that I can double check.
Oh, Freya's looking at him like he looks nice.
Marcel is also getting a first look at his new housemates. Opposite him are Fred and Freya, also Geoffroy's marmosets, and a long-established pair at the park. Initially, Marcel will be able to see and hear his new neighbours, but without any physical contact. But first, Elle needs to persuade him out of his travel box.
Anytime you're ready.
Yeah.
Well, that was easy. Confident Marcel is straight out and onto the mesh for a look around.
Good boy.
He immediately demonstrates his mobility.
Moving around okay?
Yeah.
Elle opens up another slide, giving Marcel access to 2 bedrooms. While he explores his new surroundings, the team check his weight. By weighing the empty crate and subtracting the amount from one they took earlier with him in it, they get an accurate reading.
400 grams. So he's a fine weight. It's a good weight.
Despite the fact he's missing part of his tail, Alison is pleased with Marcel's overall condition.
He's a little bit sort of hunched up, but I think it's more him being puffed up, sort of showing off, and finding his feet. He's also been inside the box for 4 hours, so we'll have to see how he goes. But his mobility's good, his coat is good, he's missing 1/3 of his tail. He's a little bit scratchy. You know, we've had a few marmosets arrive from unknown circumstances, and I think he's going to be another one of those mysteries. But no, nice little lad, Marcel.
Because Marcel was an emergency rescue case, Alison doesn't have a companion lined up for him yet. Discussions will take place in the next few days about possible matches. Until then, the staff will concentrate on building up trust with the mystery stray marmoset and starting him on an appropriate diet. Hopefully, it won't be long before he's introduced to a potential partner and can begin a contented life with one of his own kind. Next time on Monkey Life. Operation Siamang. The team formulate a plan to move Sam and Sasak back across the park to their newly renovated home.
We've got a bigger crate, which we're hoping will be a lot less stressful for them.
And baby woolly monkey Lloyd tests out his climbing skills while Mum Zingu watches on. Today on Monkey Life, concern for Loris Bruce after the team find a lump on the side of his face.
That could be a deep-seated abscess, in which case we're going to drain it.
Orangutan Oshine is under the weather and gets a little TLC from Jeremy.
How you doing? Are you right?
Oh man.
And treats for the woolies after their big house move. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Right, ready to go. 3 monkeys in the box, not too bad.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 21 different species. At the Loris complex, there's concern for one of the residents, Bruce. Wildlife vet John Lewis has been called in to take a look.
So really the first time you noticed a large swelling on his face was October.
Yes.
Maybe a grumbling abscess. Wow.
A few weeks ago, the team spotted a lump developing on the side of Bruce's face, and it's become quite prominent. But because loris are nocturnal animals, it hasn't been easy to monitor.
We have changed the lights over for the loris, so they are awake when we're at work, but they're in a dark light because they're nocturnal, so they wouldn't be awake on the white light. So it does make things a little bit trickier because it's not as easy to spot things. They are incredibly fluffy as well, so it got quite a big abscess before we saw it because of the amount of hair on their body. So, yeah, it can be a bit tricky to keep a close eye on them, but we do our best.
Bruce came to the park along with 4 others, all confiscated by the Hong Kong authorities from the black market trade. They're the start of a European breeding programme for Bengal loris. While John prepares for the procedure, Animal Director Jeremy is preparing for the rather tricky task of getting Bruce out of the bedroom.
Oh, he's on the move. It's just above the basket even for them.
Yeah, he's got most of himself.
He's proving somewhat elusive.
Got one leg.
Jeremy has to clamber through the branches to reach Bruce, who isn't prepared to come easily.
He's just grabbing onto another branch.
Loris have an immensely powerful grip, and Bruce isn't giving up without a struggle.
Stroke a lug, wasn't it?
That's the glass side.
Jeremy puts Bruce in a box specially designed to allow the anaesthetic gas to slowly knock him out, helping minimise stress. After a few minutes, the anaesthetic takes effect, and John can begin the examination.
Right, Stacey, I want to listen to his heart. Hang on there.
Satisfied all is well with his heart, next John checks Bruce's teeth to see if an infection inside the mouth may have caused the lump.
The upper cheek teeth are good. It's just the upper canines, clearly the upper right's fractured there. But that's not causing the problem.
It's the first time they've had a loris under anaesthetic at the park, giving the team an invaluable opportunity to get a really close look at the species in daylight. It's a great chance to learn more about this mysterious and fascinating primate.
We're sort of trying to piece together and build a better picture of loris anatomy, behavior, ecology, why they are the way they are and how their bodies work. So this is all really valuable for us, for loris as a whole, but most importantly, to find out what Bruce's issue is.
Clipping away the fur reveals just how big the growth has become.
It's a clear lump. That could be a deep-seated abscess, in which case we're going to drain it. Take sample for bacteriology.
I've got 18 or a 14.
Oh, okay, let's have the 14. If that doesn't produce any liquid anything, we might need to take a biopsy. That's tough.
John needs to insert a fine needle to try and drain the abscess.
Ah, we're in. Right, bacteriology swab.
However, when he attempts the procedure, only a tiny drop of fluid comes out. It's a bit of a mystery needing further investigation. So John takes samples to send off to a laboratory to be checked for infection or abnormalities. There's one possible final check.
Is there any chance of getting an X-ray?
There's a chance.
That's good.
John wants to rule out any sort of foreign body that could have caused the lump, and also to make sure it isn't a tumour.
X-rays are not showing me anything, although they do rule certain things out. Had there been a metallic foreign body, a piece of wire or something that's gone into these tissues here and caused a massive reaction, we would see that piece of wire on the X-ray because it's dense. It would appear as a white mark as much as a bone would. There's nothing of that sort there. We wait for the results from the blood and the bacteriology and the fine needle aspirate tests, and then we make a plan to do a biopsy if those tests don't show us the clear way forward.
So, like the loris themselves, the results of the examination are a bit of an enigma. It's likely Bruce will need further tests. But for now, John's going to put him on a course of anti-inflammatories until the results from the lab come through. Until then, the team will be keeping a very close eye on Bruce. It's been a few months since the park undertook the biggest woolly monkey house swap they've ever done. 14 of the 19 primates moved to new homes, where some met new housemates and others were reacquainted with old friends. The move went well, and everyone seems happy and settled in their new groups. Today, the most energetic bunch are getting a whole host of treats to keep them busy and active in their enclosure. There are 8 members in this group, headed up by 27-year-old Levar.
It's quite a lively group. There's loads of different characters in there and loads of different ages as well. So right from the youngest being under 1 to Levar, who's 27, and kind of everything in between. But Levar's, he's a very capable, dominant male. He's a very strong character, and he's a good example and leader to some of the youngsters as well.
Levar leads the way, with the rest of the group not far behind. They're all excited to tuck into the treats on offer. Energetic Bueno Jr. is straight in there, confidently using his tail as an anchor, hanging on to the thinnest of branches as he reaches down to grab a goodie from the undergrowth. Being a bit more elderly, Levar is happy to leave the acrobatics to others today. He spotted a lone grape and, mindful of the prickly brambles, gingerly picks it out. Since joining the group, 2-year-old Carlos has really flourished, and a whole apple is a real find. Meanwhile, despite being the smallest, 2-year-old Olivia has managed to grab a packet of nuts all to herself. She's the daughter of Zingu, who's on the lookout for more of the tasty treats. She'll have to be quick though, as Junior is intent on grabbing and eating as many as he can. Handsome adolescent 5-year-old Manny is doing what all teenagers love to do, showing off. He's keen to demonstrate what a strong and impressive male he's becoming. Close siblings Carlos and Eva are a bit more restrained when it comes to play. And there's one popular woolly who's missing today.
The smallest individual in this group is little Cosmo. So as of yet, he's not actually ventured outside at the moment, so he's still nice and safe and warm inside the house. He just hasn't discovered the slides to get out of the house yet. So we're just letting him take it completely at his own pace, and when he's ready, hopefully he'll just follow another individual outside, and then we can keep a close eye on him. I mean, he's a bundle of energy himself. Nothing seems to faze him, and he's a properly, fully integrated member of this group now, so couldn't be prouder. He's doing super well.
And Cosmo may soon have a tiny playmate to join him.
Wow, it's definitely in there, Zingy. Hey, I can feel it.
For the last few weeks, staff have noticed Zingu becoming larger.
I can actually feel what I'm assuming is a baby inside there. There's lots of lumps and bumps there. Yeah, really quite obvious when you feel her belly, and it's big and it's firm. So yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm feeling the baby now. Very exciting.
It's great news for the park's successful breeding program. This will be Zingu's 3rd baby, and so far, she's always been a brilliant mum. Although she does need a bit more practice when it comes to drinking out of tubs. With more than 250 primates to constantly feed and care for, keeping them all healthy is a massive task for the Monkey World team. It's not always easy to identify when one individual primate is under the weather and work out what's wrong. It's crucial the staff constantly monitor the animals and react to changes in their behaviour. In the last few days, they've noticed female orangutan Oshine has been lethargic and off her food. And if food lover Oshine isn't eating, there must be something wrong. Jeremy wants to take a closer look at her. But unfortunately for him, Oshine has decided to rest up in the tunnel system connecting the indoor bedrooms to the orangutan's outdoor enclosure. There's only one thing for it. Armed with bags and punnets of fruit, Jeremy crawls into the tunnel.
Yeah, that claustrophobia.
If she's not going to come to him, he'll have to go to her.
How you doing? Are You right? Fancy an apple. Give me that. I love my apples back. She's better than she has been for the last few days, but she's been very flat, very low. We don't appear to have an upset stomach. We don't appear to have any coughs and sneezes or respiratory problems. I think symptoms are sort of similar to what they were sort of 5 or 6 years ago, when she clearly had problems with her cycle, her menstrual cycle, and we managed to get that under control with the contraceptive implants and then a different contraceptive pill. And what we're seeing now, I think, is possibly a recurrence of whatever that was. So we treat her symptomatically and then see if it happens again in another 28 days. Oh, man.
Jeremy has a unique and very special relationship with Oshine. When she came to the park in 2010, it was the close bond formed between them that helped her adjust from her old life, living as a pet with a family in South Africa, to living a more natural life at Monkey World.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get your nose. Yes, I am. Here comes that big monster. Here comes that big nose-touching monster. All right, we'll have a little massage instead. You like that? You want a massage? Is you feeling poorly? Well, yeah, I mean, I come and hang out with her as much as I can, and there comes a point where she's had enough, and that's obvious, and then I'll go again. You know, she's awake and alert now, so she'll let me know when she's had enough. Yeah. Yeah? Is that good? Is that right? Is that okay? You good girl? You're not a bad old sausage, are you?
For the next few weeks, Oshine will be under constant observation, and today she's appreciated a little one-on-one TLC. Another primate who's needed extra care recently is young adult chimp Bart. It's been 3 weeks since he was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. It was touch and go, and for a while the team feared the worst. Since then, the primate care staff have worked tirelessly with Bart to monitor and manage his condition. He's been taught to give urine samples so they can estimate his blood glucose levels and administer insulin according to how much he needs.
Come on then, buddy. Pee. Come on. Over here. Good boy. Over here. Good lad. Nice. Good boy. There's your reward. Good girl, Beth.
Bart's been kept indoors while the team have been monitoring and training him. But that's not ideal for Bart or the group. He hasn't been completely alone, however. He's had company and been able to stay with the whole group when they're indoors. Vet nurse Stacey is checking his urine sample.
No, we're still the high end. So bilirubin negative, ketones negative. Specific gravity is 1.000.
His levels are stable, but he's far from being out of the woods yet. Since Bart's diagnosis, wildlife vet John Lewis has been in constant contact with the team to work out a care plan. It's been a fine balance trying to get his insulin level correct, while still feeding him the right foods in the right quantities. 3 weeks in, John is cautiously optimistic.
I mean, I think he was at death's door
Yeah, it was.
when we knocked him down for bloods, and I don't think he's at death's door now. That doesn't mean that he's out of the woods,
risk.
nor
Yeah.
does it mean we've got him stabilised. And I'd rather slowly increase and hopefully improve things for him than go too far suddenly and you find him in a coma.
Yeah.
I think, you know, this is actually very good progress.
In terms of how he is, where it's more, you know, now trying to manage him and the insulin, and it's a fine balance between the stress and what he's comfortable with and not putting him off taking the insulin and all the rest of it. He's been really good, touch wood, so far.
But the stress of staying indoors and not being with the rest of the group is taking its toll. And, after much discussion and planning, the team decide to let Bart outside into the enclosure a few days later. It's a massive test for the young chimp and the team. They're working hard to keep him stable and are worried giving him the freedom of the enclosure will prove challenging. They'll still need him to come to them and give a urine sample, or better still, do a blood prick test, which can provide a more accurate glucose reading. If he doesn't respond to the team's calls to come over to them, it could really set back his progress. Bart loves being outdoors and is especially happy to be with his big sister, Eddie. But will he come over to the team for his tests?
Come here, Bart.
They needn't have worried. The constant training over the last month is paying off. Bart comes straight across and presents his finger for a prick test. Lisa can immediately get a reading.
The blood sample is the most accurate results we can get to tell us what's going on with him. We can use urine samples as well. The problem that we have with the urine samples, although they show us that he's got glucose in them, they don't show us the level that he's at, which can be very difficult when you're trying to pick up the right dose of insulin. So whilst we were training him to present his finger or his toes in order to get the blood results or the blood tests, we were using the urine, but we just had to get through that in order to get that behaviour nice and strong. So that's the best one we can use, but as backup we do have the urine as well. We've just got to hope things keep going the way they are and that he keeps responding to all the behaviours that we need him to do as well as what he is. But he's a really strong individual and he's young as well, so he's got a lot of time to adjust to this new style of life that he now has.
It's a lifestyle that's going to need constant monitoring and care. For now, to everyone's relief, he's stable and back outside with the rest of the group where he belongs. The park's maintenance team are hard at work once more, and they're under a bit of pressure. They're renovating an old, unused enclosure in preparation for the rather special and unprecedented arrival of 2 new primates.
It's all a little bit exciting because not only are they new arrivals to the park, it's a completely new species and a new adventure for Monkey World. So.
Yeah. Okay. It all came about after Alison received a phone call from Animals Lebanon, who work closely with their government to stop endangered species being transported through their country. The authorities had confiscated a pair of monkeys at Beirut Airport, which had been illegally smuggled into the country from Ghana. Examining the photographs and footage sent to her, Alison identified them as white-throated guenons.
So we're now working in collaboration with the Lebanese government, who are now full signatory to CITES that protects endangered species, and working with the NGO Animals Lebanon to make sure that we can get these guys health tested, looked after in the meantime, and then transported to Monkey World so that they can sadly live out the rest of their days here at Monkey World rather than in the forests of Nigeria or Benin.
The white-throated guenon is considered a vulnerable species near extinction. In the wild, it's found in the tropical areas of Nigeria and Benin, living in the trees in the rainforest. They're primarily frugivores, which means their diet consists of mainly fruit, in addition to insects and leaves. The pair confiscated in Lebanon are a male and a female. But before being allowed to travel to the UK, they had to have a thorough health check. Wildlife vet John Lewis flew out to take a look at them.
Because of the background and circumstances where these monkeys have come from, they are high risk potentially to carry diseases that are zoonotic, diseases that can be shared from people to non-human primates and from non-human primates to people. So we're actually running quite significant health tests on them to give them TB tests, to get blood panels from them to know that they are fit and healthy. And then we're also doing a lot of viral screening to make sure that they don't have any other diseases such as hepatitis, and making sure before we bother transporting them to UK that they're not carrying anything scary or dangerous.
The 2 guenons have already been named Benny and Nia, but not much else is known about the pair, not even their ages or if they're from the same family.
It's a lot of up in the air questions. A new species, not a lot of information about these individuals. I just know that they're sat waiting for me in Beirut right now, and I'm really looking forward to getting them back here to the park.
So fingers are tightly crossed, Benny and Nia get the all clear to make the journey to a new home and a new start in life at Monkey World. Next time on Monkey Life, baby Marmoset Amy needs a family. But will the whole household accept her?
It's a bit frantic, but it's good. Nothing bad so far.
And an attempted coup at Malagasy leaves Lima, Indiana, feeling frozen out. Today on Monkey Life.
Good girl.
Oshine's big weigh-in.
Good girl. There we go. Sit down. You've put on weight.
Chimp Kiki gives Hananya a run for his money.
Hananya's all puffed up, charging around, and what do? You run up to the biggest guy in the room and you smack him.
And the elderly Stumpies enjoy their newfound freedom. This is Monkey World in Dorset. It's home to more than 240 monkeys and apes and is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. Dr. Alison Cronin and her team rescue and rehabilitate primates from all over the world.
This is always, for me, the most stressful time. I want to see Kiki fit and healthy.
Today is a big day for overweight Oshine. Jeremy has decided to find out exactly how much weight she's lost since arriving at the park. She was rehomed a few months ago from South Africa. There, she lived in the lap of luxury with her owner, Brenda. Her weight ballooned because she was overfed, sometimes with inappropriate sugary food.
Time for Mama.
Oshine was 100 kilos when she arrived. She was immediately put on a strict health regime and encouraged to exercise. As a result, the weight has fallen off her. And she's already seeing the benefits, moving a lot more easily around the orangutan nursery and the outdoor enclosure.
From the beginning, when she first arrived here to today, I mean, radical changes. First up around her throat sac, all of that, like before it was almost like a collar of fat around her neck and over her shoulders. That's all gone. You can see the tops of her shoulders now. And definitely around her belly, because when she first came, that Buddha belly was just stretched taut and out in front of her. And you can see that the belly is actually saggy and a lot of wrinkly skin now.
Jeremy is hoping to entice Oshine onto the scales. But there's never any guarantee she'll cooperate.
The last time we weighed her, she was 79.7 kilos, so I think she's probably lost a bit more, but, I mean, we were surprised how much she'd lost last time, so we'll see whether we're surprised or not this time. And we're ready to go now when you are.
On my way to...
Come on, gorgeous. Where are you going? Hello there. Are you right? Are you right? Good. Good girl. Good girl. Here we are. Come on. You know what this is, don't you? Good girl. Everybody's watching the weigh machine. Ready?
Yep.
Good girl. There we go. Sit down. Good girl. Have you got the weigh?
And we're at 80 kilos bang on.
80 kilos. Have you got that? You've put on weight.
You good girl.
So, not quite Slimmer of the Month, but Alison is still happy with her progress.
You know, Oshine's only been here a few months now, and already she's lost 20 kilos. So, you know, we were hoping to do a very slow and steady weight loss program by feeding her just the normal diet that we feed her at the park and letting the weight fall off naturally. And that's exactly what's happened. We're at a little plateau right now, which just means we need to think about it and maybe a few less bananas and a little more vegetable matter and carry on so that she continues with this really nice gradual weight loss program, because everybody knows that's the best way to lose weight, is slow and gradual.
That is the last grape. Do you want it? Hey, hello? Yeah,
Jean has a really lovely, nice relationship with Jeremy and is quite clearly very content and happy, you know, to come strolling in, sit on the scales, and I'm really pleased for her. I think we've sort of ticked all of the boxes that Oshine needs, and she's settled in now and is, I believe, quite happy and content.
We're just having a moment here. We don't want to talk to you lot anymore.
Oshine was the baby and the princess throughout her lifetime in South Africa, and that, you know, makes you a very spoiled individual because there's no competition. Now that she's in here with all of the youngsters, they provide stimulus and keep her busy. So slowly but surely, I think we're breaking down those social barriers as well. And every day she's becoming, her orangutan vocabulary is becoming greater, and she's becoming less dependent upon human beings.
It's hoped eventually that Oshine will move away from the nursery and live in one of the adult groups of orangs.
Next step is check her over, make sure she's physically fit, that we don't foresee any heart disease or any issues or diabetic tendencies that we need to deal with. Lose a bit more weight, and then graduate her to an adult group where she can either meet Tuan or Gordon. And, you know, living with the youngsters in here is a very good start, because someday if she does have her own baby, she's going to have a little bit of experience with youngsters.
Hey, Micardo.
Another recent arrival who's due for a weigh-in is Micardo.
It's a good boy.
The golden-cheeked gibbon was rehomed from a zoo in France when his mother died. He's now happily settled with his foster mum, Alex.
You're going to sit in the scales for me? Hello. Hi, where are you? Oh, straight in. Sit. Good lad. He's a good boy. OK, how much does he weigh? Can you see?
Yep, 2.3 kilos.
You're a good boy. You're a good boy. He seems to be putting on a little bit of weight, which is good. Sometimes there may be a little bit of a loss. Once he started to go out, then of course he had so much more exercise. So he did sort of level out a little bit for a few weeks at the same weight because he was just burning everything up. And of course we don't want a fat gibbon. You know, I don't think you really ever see a fat gibbon. Most gibbons are very long and lanky, aren't they?
The biggest difference in Micardo since Mike collected him from France is his colour change.
To start off with, he was really bright orange, and then gradually he started to change to the black, which the adult males are, and they will stay black all their lives. The first noticeable change was really sort of round about his ears, and then it was the feet and the hands that went, and now the arms are going, the back's going, and if I don't happen to see him for maybe 4 days, there's a noticeable difference in his colour change. It really is quite dramatic at the moment. He's certainly a very confident lad, a little bit cautious with anything new, but then that's pretty good. He hardly ever sits still, just a typical little gibbon.
Kiki arrived at the park just over a week ago.
Hey, missus!
She was rescued from Lebanon, where she'd lived on her own in a cage for many years. The team decided that she was going to join Hanania's group, and her first meeting with Patricia went very well. Since then, she's been introduced to several of the other females. But today, she gets to meet the boss.
Whenever we do these introductions, especially with adult chimpanzees, it's a dangerous situation because chimpanzees are naturally volatile and very aggressive and dangerous animals. And being very strong, it means that any of these introductions could go totally wrong and it could be a bloodbath.
Don't lock it so we can open it quickly if we need to.
Jeremy and the other primate care staff members are on hand with fire extinguishers in case things get out of hand.
Opening the door between Hananya and a newcomer is always a really tense and frightening time because Hananya's so full on and you sort of just have to hope that you've done everything that you can for the individual and that the friendships and alliances that they've established previously will hold true and people will help her out if she gets into trouble.
Alison, we're going to open the slide now.
Okay, open the door.
Not realising how important Hananya is, Kiki confidently chases him. Having lived on her own for so long, she's unaware of chimpanzee politics.
It was really quite shocking because Kiki's first response, door goes open, Hananya's all puffed up, charging around, and what do? You run up to the biggest guy in the room and you smack him.
The other females keep a watchful eye on Kiki, but don't interfere at this stage. Needing to assert his authority, Hananya starts displaying in front of Kiki. Things gradually begin to quieten down, and Zeynep goes over to the newcomer to make sure she's okay. Kiki's a little more wary of Hananya now, and sticks close to the other girls.
Ladies that were with Kiki did a fantastic job of letting things play out, but then if it really started to get too much and Hananya's teeth started showing a bit too much, they were right in there to say, hold on, stop, pay attention to us, and basically take the focus away from Kiki. Giving Hananya his credit, he wasn't too overbearing. He sort of came in, made sure that he was very awesome and impressive and everybody else showed respect. But then, you know, there was a bit of sitting down and, aren't I beautiful? And Kiki was mesmerized, it worked. So, you know, Hananya actually played his cards very well, making sure she knew who was in charge, but at the same time, being rather available. So it's a really tricky balance between showing who's the boss yet wanting to attract the females, because let's face it, in the end, in the wild, if a female doesn't like the new alpha male or the group, she can just wander off potentially and try and find a new group to join.
Kiki's new friend Patricia steps in to reassure her. Then Hananya approaches again, but this time more gently. Everyone starts to relax.
The combination between the ladies playing and reassuring her, I think, really helped her out to feel not so intimidated by Hananya. And it shows two things. It shows actually that they're good, loyal friends to Kiki, but that also they're not terrified of Hananya. They like Hananya. It might be a bit intimidating and awesome and frightening to us, but it's what chimpanzees do. So we sort of try and prepare ourselves as best we can, knowing their behavior, knowing our individuals, and just taking our time. And if it takes Kiki months or years to get into Hananya's group, so be it. But I suspect, the way things have gone today, that it's actually going to only be a matter of weeks.
Squirrel monkey Fidget was the first new arrival at the park this year. Alison rehomed him from Essex, where he'd lived in a cage on his own for 20 years. He joined the existing group of squirrel monkeys and has settled in very well. Today, they're having a special treat.
In the world, over half of their diet would be made up of insects, and obviously a large portion of their day would be spent foraging around for them. So we do try and replicate that here at the park, just to really encourage them to work a little bit more for their food. They absolutely love their insects. The fact that these are slightly bigger will bring a slightly new challenge for them. In the group, we've got Alien, she came to us from a lab. We've also got Topsy and Turvy, they both came to us here from the pet trade. And we've also got Samantha, and then lastly, Fidget.
Turvy is first out to investigate.
They are really keen on their insects, so they'll always work that little bit extra hard to get to their insects.
Group leader Alien realises there are surprises inside the box. Fidget seems rather nervous and stays on the sidelines.
Fidget seems to be holding back a little bit. He's kind of hanging around the edge, and he'll probably get stuck in a little bit later on.
The girls are really going for it now. Samantha rises to the challenge, but Fidget is still reluctant to get involved. When the girls gang up together, they're a formidable force.
Alien is really enjoying this. She's even managed to get 2 of the locusts. She's got 1 in each hand, so she's not going to give them up for anything, I don't think.
Squirrel monkeys are extremely dexterous, which means they can catch flighty insects like these large locusts easily with their hands. Although Fidget has yet to find one. Samantha has now turned her attention to the giant grubs. It looks like Fidget has missed out today. The finishing touches are being put to a brand new outdoor enclosure, which is going to house all the park's Stumpies.
Today's a very exciting day. This is going to be the first day that the macaques as a group, all of the stump-tailed macaques, old and new, are going to come outside into their big new enclosure for the first time. See you guys later.
A few months ago, 10 Stumpies were rehomed from a medical research facility in Scotland. Alison and the team gradually introduced them to the park's current ugly monkeys, and they're slowly learning to live alongside each other.
Hey,
Many of the macaques are elderly, and a huge amount of thought has been put into the design of the enclosure.
The telephone poles leading from platform to platform are doubled up so that they can feel comfortable walking along them. We've incorporated a lot of plants into the enclosure that they'll be able to forage from and eat.
The primate care staff are making final checks to ensure there's nothing harmful lying around after the building work.
We also have to look out for any new plants springing up that either might upset their stomachs or cause them a problem.
We're preparing their breakfast and some nice yummy scatter treats for them, just to try and encourage them to come out and explore their new surroundings. We're putting in some custard in this log for them. We've drilled out holes in the log to try and encourage them to forage around and use their fingers to get the nice yummy treats out.
We'll now let them sort of take their time coming out into the enclosure, but you know, we're all just champing at the bit. You can hear it in my voice. We want them to get out here and use everything because we know how good they're gonna be. So we just need to be patient, and I'm sure the macaques will take care of everything else. Off you go.
Come on, guys. Sam, Kelly, come on.
Sam, the dominant male, pokes his head out to see what's going on. But it's the oldest female Chola who confidently leads the way. Miriam and Maureen are not far behind. Sam and Kelly seem quite impressed with the new playground.
Sam sort of has taken over as leader of the group, I guess. You know, he's beautiful with his long silver coat, and he's come out and done a circuit of the whole enclosure, checking it out, and is testing everything. You see him walk along trying to get anything and everything to bounce, which is a good male macaque display.
Kelly is proving to be quite adventurous too. Until they arrived at the park, the girls had never been outside in their lives before. Miriam tries out one of the poles. But higher-ranking Kelly has no intention of sharing it. And low-ranking Charlie quickly gets out of the way.
Even Charlie, it's just fantastic to see. She's got a dislocated hip, really badly bent femurs, you know, bad skin condition is at the bottom of the heap, and she's one of the bravest and boldest, making her way all around the way to the far end of the enclosure. So really, really pleased. For the rest of the day, we'll leave them access outside because this is now their home, and that's the main thing, is that sort of over the coming days and weeks, they sort of get used to the enclosure slowly and gradually, and making sure that they don't get into any mischief. All of these hoses that they're having to use to climb up things, really good for the core exercises. It's the macaque fitness routine here at the park. There might be a few stiff joints tomorrow, I expect, because they're not used to that much activity.
Alison is optimistic that this new enclosure will help the Stumpies settle into their new life at the park.
We're giving them the keys back to their lives again and letting them choose whether they come inside or go outside, what they're choosing to eat, how they're getting on with each other. So really, this is just the final step in their rehabilitation now. You have to remember where they've come from, living the vast majority of your life, 10 or more years, in a tiny, controlled environment with no access to the outdoors. Life's very limited, and socially they were quite short with each other. Now with this flexibility and choice, it means that individuals that are lower ranking can get away from the more dominant individuals, and that makes everybody get along better.
Staff have welcomed lots of new faces at the park this year. And the next arrival will be a baby Sumatran orangutan called Silvestre.
Stop it, you.
He's 11 months old and lives at a zoo in Spain. Monkey World has been asked to rehome him so that he can grow up with other orangs. But he's going to need a helping hand from Jeremy for the first few months.
I always say if you can get a nappy on an orangutan, you can do pretty well anything.
And another eagerly anticipated arrival is Sarah.
From Louisville, Kentucky, the last female woolly monkey in America, and she's here. So, yeah, finally.
They've been asked to rehome Sarah because of their incredible success in breeding these rare monkeys. As Alison and the team prepare for these newcomers, they're only too aware that there are many more monkeys and apes around the world in need of their help. But for the current residents, power struggles carry on and friendships continue to blossom as they learn to live alongside each other as they would in the wild. This time on Monkey Life, the team stand by to welcome a very special new arrival.
From Louisville, Kentucky, the last female woolly monkey in America, and she's here.
Baby Silvestre finally meets his new surrogate mum, Oshine.
Hey, no.
And mayhem at the Bachelors when the boys show off their ball skills. Monkey World in Dorset is one of the largest sanctuaries of its kind on the planet. For 25 years, the team have been rescuing and rehabilitating abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Shall I take him?
Yes.
If you'll stay with me.
The park is led by Dr. Alison Cronin and is home to more than 240 monkeys and apes. The centre has developed a worldwide reputation for its success in breeding woolly monkeys. There are now 16 of these primates at Monkey World, living in 3 separate groups. One of them is headed up by Bueno. He's a very popular leader who's been at the park since 2005. The dominant female in his group is Urema, who recently gave birth to Bueno's son, Enzo. Young Paolo is also in this group. He follows Bueno around like a shadow, keen to learn from the boss. But today, these woolies are going to be joined by another who's coming all the way from America as part of an international breeding program. It's an exciting day for the primate care staff as they prepare the house for the new arrival, who's travelling 4,000 miles from Louisville Zoo in Kentucky. They want to make her feel as welcome as possible when she arrives in Dorset.
We're just waiting for them to roll up right now, but we've got Sarah finally arriving. She's had a bit of a long journey from America, from Louisville, Kentucky, the last female woolly monkey in America, and she's here. So, yeah, finally.
Woolly monkeys are critically endangered, and the only male woolly monkeys in North America at the moment are Sarah's dad and brother. So the breeding program decided Monkey World would be the best option for her.
Yeah, and the trooper. How you doing, Missy?
Sylvia, who has cared for Sarah since she was born, has travelled with her. The team want to get Sarah settled quickly as woolly monkeys are prone to stress.
Okay, here we are. Everybody's very anxious right now, as you can hear by her calls. The bird chirping that is an alarm call. So we just want to get her into the bedrooms and let her settle down for the night. And tomorrow, then she can meet everybody.
Sarah is joining Bueno's group because it's still fairly small. Being unrelated to any of the other monkeys makes her very important for breeding. Sylvia stays with Sarah so she can see a familiar face. Next door, Bueno's gang can sense something's going on.
We've moved Bueno's group of woolly monkeys back in next to Sarah. She can't see them, but she can hear them and she knows they're there. She doesn't seem too concerned at the moment. I think she's having quite a big day. There's lots of noise, lots of new things. So maybe once we all go home and leave her in peace, she might suddenly realise there's new and interesting neighbours. But for now, she seems quite calm.
Despite her long journey, Sarah hasn't lost her appetite.
She's well and truly helped herself to dinner. She's had bananas, grapes, all sorts. She's had a bit of a scratch with some of the keepers, which apparently she really enjoys. So I think she's relaxing a bit. And she can't think we're too scary or she wouldn't be helping herself quite so enthusiastically. She's actually waiting now that I'm talking, sorry. There we go. I'm sorry about that. Oh, and a little trill. That's a very happy woolly monkey noise, so things are going okay. Nice.
Once Sarah has got over her jet lag, it'll be time for her to meet her new family. There are 4 groups of chimps at the park. Paddy's has been established the longest. Then there's the chimp nursery led by Sally. Hananya heads up a group of 19 chimps. And finally, there's an all-male group known as the Bachelors, which is led by Butch. The staff are constantly looking for ways to keep the primates busy, and today, it's the boys' turn.
Today we're doing a really special enrichment day for the Bachelor boys. We've got tons of really big boxes, which I think they're going to love.
The boys don't have a great attention span, so the staff have to work extra hard when thinking up ideas for them.
We're just going to pack all the boxes with wood wool and then put some scatter in, so maybe some sunflower seeds, monkey nuts, dates, things like that. So it'll just mean that they'll spend quite a lot of time going through it looking for the bits of food we've put in.
We've also got some footballs which we're going to put in as well, so it's a really big enrichment day. They've probably never had this many boxes at one time, so I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with them.
Jester is first in, closely followed by leader Butch. They're surprisingly quiet until they discover the boxes. Sammy is so excited he starts displaying, as does Paco.
So the display just acts as a warning and the reminder to the rest of the group just who's in charge. They want to make as much noise as possible. They also want to look as big as possible. Their hair puffs up and stood on end, their arms and legs splayed, and they'll often use props. So in the wild, generally, they'd use branches. Obviously, they don't have them here, so the boxes make ideal props during their displays.
Once the boys discover the food, they calm down. Mojo, who gets on well with everyone, tucks in. But Charlie has discovered the footballs and begins to show off his skills. Kiko demonstrates a back pass, while Jester gets one in off the post.
Usually when we give them footballs, they'll just pop them within the first few minutes and that's the fun over, but they actually kept them.
Paquito has a go at dribbling, but then focuses on his ball control. As half-time approaches, there's a lot of tackling going on. When Charlie and Gypsy get into a scuffle, Jimmy has to act as referee. But then, Gypsy picks a fight with Kiko instead. He's heading for a red card. At full time, with all the food gone, the chimps put the wood wool to good use.
We're going to leave the boxes in overnight because what they'll usually do is they'll use the boxes as part of their nest, so they'll tear them up and mix it with wood wool and can wrap it all around them, and that'll be their nest for the night.
Life is much quieter at the Simon Gibbon house, where Sam is getting used to life on his own. The veterinary team recently had to put his son Onion to sleep because they found a massive inoperable tumour in his gut.
This looks bad, Alison.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm very sorry.
Sam also lost his partner Sage a couple of years ago.
Today we've decided to let Sam outside. It's been a couple of days since we had to make the difficult decision to put his son Onion down. Clearly he would choose to be with his mate and have companionship, especially that he knows. But I'm not convinced that he's actually totally devastated and upset and pining. And we just wanted to make sure that Sam was settled and didn't seem too distraught, too frantic, or too upset before we let him outside into a 30-meter stand of trees.
Today, staff are putting out a puzzle feeder to keep him occupied.
Basically what we're aiming to do is actually to get him off the ground and up into the trees, kind of replicating the natural behaviour that he would exhibit in the wild, foraging for his food.
Sam spots it immediately. It doesn't take him long to work out how to get to the treats. Gibbons have long arms that they use to swing through the tops of the trees, and they prove very useful to get at the hard-to-reach pieces of fruit. Siamang gibbons come from Malaysia, Thailand, and Sumatra. They're endangered partly due to the illegal pet trade, but also because their habitat is being destroyed, mainly by the palm oil industry, which is clearing large swathes of forests. In the wild, they live in pairs with their offspring. Male and female Siamangs have different songs, which they sing together as a duet. Sam and Onion used to sing together at the park, But now, Sam has to sing on his own. Alison is trying to find him a new mate and is feeling positive.
He's gone brilliantly, and I'm really pleased. Sam's looking okay, and he's back out in the one secure and regular thing that we can give him, which is his home and his lovely stand of trees.
At Bueno's woolly monkey house, new girl Sarah seems to have recovered after her long journey from America. And the team have decided it's time for her to meet the others.
In a minute, we're going to be introducing Bueno and Urema and Enzo and Paolo into the mix. And hopefully everybody will get on very well. They're all a really nice bunch of monkeys, very easygoing. So hopefully they'll all accept each other, spend the day getting to know each other. And then when we're happy that they're comfortable, we'll let them try out their outside enclosure together. Just as we left last night, Urema was making really loud, really affectionate calls to Sarah, and she was replying. So things are looking really positive, and we've just got to keep our fingers crossed that when they actually meet face to face, things will carry on that way.
In the wild, it's normal for girls to leave their families and join other groups. This is nature's way of preventing inbreeding. So Bueno's gang shouldn't find it too unsettling to have a new female member. It's not long before Bueno, Urema, Enzo and Paolo emerge to meet the newcomer.
So far today it's gone fantastically. We couldn't have really asked for more. Bueno has been amazing. He's been teeth chattering again, so he's very, very interested in her. Good girl, Urema. Urema snuffled Sarah. Sarah, I don't think, was quite sure what to make of it. But she was very diplomatic and just kept her eyes turned away and wasn't being confrontational at all. Paolo, bless him, is in his own little world. He was so excited by everything. He did a wall of death around the playroom for several minutes, but now he's calmed down. I think he's quite comfortable with her being in the group. He just hasn't quite plucked up the courage to actually have much of an interaction with her yet. From here, hopefully, the guys have sorted themselves out. They're all in together. We haven't given them outside access yet because we need to be happy that Sarah's comfortable enough that she knows to come back into the house if she's cold or frightened or it's the end of the day. So hopefully that'll be for us tomorrow to do. But for today, we're just going to let them get used to each other, have some nice snacks, generally have a nice relax, and we're hoping to leave them together overnight.
At the Orang nursery, another recent arrival is settling in well. Baby Silvestre was rehomed from a zoo in Spain because his mother refused to feed him. Under a European breeding programme, Monkey World looks after all orphaned orangs.
Silvestre's just doing fantastic. He's everything we could have hoped for in a baby orangutan. Sounds a bit funny, but he is simply brilliant. Really confident, just strolls up to everybody and puts his hand out to say hello. And today's the big one. Today we're gonna open the door between him and Oshine, with Jeremy, of course, involved. Fingers crossed. We'll see how we go.
Oshine arrived at the park in 2010 from South Africa, where she'd been kept as a pet. Staff are hoping she'll act as a surrogate mum to Silvestre, but as she spent most of her life living with humans, she won't have come across a baby orang before, so the meeting could go either way. Oshine is very fond of animal director Jeremy and may not like the idea of sharing him with the newcomer.
Oh, gorgeous.
It's taking place in the safety of the bedrooms, as it's a more controllable area.
Let me get at these toys. Hello. Where are we going? Oh, right, we're going. So we're just going back over here, apparently. Ooh. What are we going to do now? Where's your toys? You got any toys to play with or anything? Who's that? Who's that?
As always, Silvestre is the one to hold out a hand of friendship.
No. There you go. You're not quite sure, are you, Puppet? Who's that? Go on, just say hi to him. Go on, give something. For the first time in your life, give something. How about that? If you give, you can reap what you sow and you can get more back. Apparently. never happened to me yet, but... Hello.
Oshine can't seem to make up her mind about the little orang.
I don't think she's got any issues, she's just confused, I think. I don't think she can see any point in him, but, you know, maybe that will wear up. Hey, no, 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 no. Okay. Still a very little boy, so we've got loads of time. You know, we have regular visits which can just familiarise everybody, and then there's, if it becomes just part of the routine, it's not such a big deal. The whole introduction is a long process, so if we just have a natural evolution of a friendship rather than thrown in at the deep end, and because he's so human dependent still, he still needs his bottle 6:30 in the morning and 10 o'clock at night, which clearly the best will in the world these guys can't do, then we're just going to have to work together. You know, it's a bit of teamwork going on here. Teamwork? Yeah, there's no I in team.
While Oshine is getting to know Silvestre, over at the Capuchins, the boys are about to be given their favourite treat. In the wild, Capuchin monkeys forage for a variety of foods, but here they're particularly partial to mealworms, which are specially bred to feed captive wild animals.
We do give them a lot of fruit and veg, and that makes up the majority of their diet, along with insect feeds as well, which are very important. In the wild, they do spend a lot of time foraging for insects. And there's also a protein portion in their diet, which is also because they are omnivores, so they do eat a wide range of different things, including some mammal and bird species as well. Capuchins are really good with their hands, very good at finding things with them. They're very dexterous. Being live food, the worms will hopefully crawl around a lot more and get into the crevices, and this will make it a little bit more difficult for them to find the food.
Hi, Tao.
One Capuchin has been separated from the rest to make sure he gets his fair share.
Boy.
Tao was recently rescued from Slovenia, where he'd been kept as a pet. When he arrived, he was underweight and undernourished, so the staff have been feeding him up with insects packed full of protein.
These are giant mealworms, and he absolutely loves them, which is handy. We generally try and give him probably a good 10 or so a day.
Do you want another one? Oh, good boy. Can you try something else? Oh, good boy. It's nice, isn't it?
The staff are trying other foods to bulk him up too.
No.
Today, it's rice pudding. Tao's not tempted.
He'll drop everything and come over for a giant mealworm or a locust, but his other favourite foods are the vegetables and the fruit, which is obviously good from a diet point of view, but yeah, I mean, if he's just chewing on some celery or some lettuce all day, he's not really going to pile on the pounds, so that's why the intensive feeding of the extras is really important.
Staff are monitoring Tao's weight. When he arrived, he was just 2.5 kilos. Jenny's hoping to notice a difference. But persuading a Capuchin to sit on a set of scales is challenging.
Charlie. Come on, Tao. Tao, there's some more here. Come on.
Jenny's trying to bribe him with some of his favourite snacks.
We've got loads of these, don't run away. Oh, good boy. Oh, tail's off. It's quite good at coming over, but he doesn't always stay on the scales for very long, so it can be quite tricky at this stage to get a really accurate weight on him. Also, it's not only the bulk of his body that needs to be on, but quite often the tail will be hanging off the scales, so I've got to try and position him so everything's on there, because every bit of tail counts at the moment. That's better, your tail's off. I'm very happy. 3.5 kgs is sort of a nice milestone that we've been trying to achieve for the last sort of couple of weeks, so that's really good. You never know, he might... No, he's gone again.
Today on Monkey Life, Oshine has problems when she undergoes a health check.
No, I can't see a lot of breathing, mate.
Patas monkey Mitza is reluctant to go outside.
Her world has been that small cage, so she might be a little bit agoraphobic.
And girls just want to have fun. Kiki and Trudy are new best friends. Monkey World in Dorset is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate unwanted and abused primates from all over the world.
Have you packed your stuff? Got your favourite comics and everything?
The park is home to more than 240 monkeys and apes. The aim is to give them as natural a life as possible. Oshine has been at the park for a year now. She was rehomed from South Africa, where she'd been kept as a pet. Normally, primates are given medical checks when they arrive, but Oshine was clinically obese, and staff couldn't risk putting her under sedation. Instead, they put her on a strict health regime to try to get her weight down from 100 kilos.
Come on, gorgeous. Good girl.
And at her last weigh-in, they'd succeeded.
And we're at 80 kilos bang on.
So they've decided the time is right to do those very important tests. At the park's hospital, the veterinary team are making plans to anaesthetise Oshine. Despite her weight loss, they're still worried. Anaesthetics always carry risks.
She does have issues. She still is a very large female orangutan, probably about twice the weight most adult female orangutans should be. That gives us a few anaesthetic issues. The weight of the fat in the abdomen presses on the diaphragm, the division between the chest and the abdomen, and it stops the lungs filling properly. Not only that, if you turn them on their back, all that blubber sits on and squashes the main vein returning blood to the heart. So we have to knock her out and then position her so that the weight of the guts falls towards her legs and her chest can expand and that blood vessel isn't compressed.
Oshine's badly affected by her menstrual cycle, often becoming moody and withdrawn. So while she's under anaesthetic, John is also planning to give her a contraceptive implant to try and regulate her hormones.
We took the opinion of a human gynecologist on this, and they were saying a lot of overweight women also have a lot of severe period pains. He was expecting it to improve somewhat when the weight is further reduced, so we are going to shut that down for about 12 months.
Instead of taking her to the hospital, the team have decided to carry out the procedure in Oshine's bedroom to avoid any unnecessary stress. The other orangs in the nursery are keen to know what's going on. John and the park's vet, Mike Nathan, are preparing the anaesthetic outside so that Oshine doesn't see them.
We'll knock her out in a bedroom, we'll do the procedure in a bedroom, we'll wake her up in a bedroom. It'll be a bit of a squidge for us, but that's not the primary concern, really. I think it'd be better for her and quicker.
Oshine is being given the injection by hand rather than darting her. Like all the primates at the park, she has regular injection training to prepare her for days like this. Staff use a clicker. If she presents the right part of her body, she gets a click and a treat. Once Oshine is unconscious, the procedure can begin.
Hold on to that. That's it.
Animal director Jeremy is assisting. John checks her airway. He's becoming concerned about her breathing.
No, I can't see a lot of breathing, mate.
He decides it's too dangerous for her to lie flat. He needs to move her.
Good. What I want to do is basically turn her through 90 degrees. Keep the head roughly in the same position.
Do it at the back of her arm, maybe.
Head back. More woodwork. Yes. Try that. Try that. Try leaning back. That's it.
With Oshine in a more upright position, they check her breathing again. John continues to monitor her.
It's the position she was in initially. She wasn't actually able to breathe at all. Mike, can you do the implant?
The contraceptive implant is inserted just underneath Oshine's skin. It's difficult for everyone to work in such a confined space. They take some blood so they can carry out tests to make sure Oshine has no underlying health problems. With all the tests complete, John gives Oshine an injection to reverse the effects of the anaesthetic. This is a critical stage of the procedure. Oshine has to be in the correct position to make sure her breathing is not restricted when she comes round. Jeremy will stay with Oshine until she's fully awake. Something unusual has happened at Hanania's enclosure. The boys are nowhere to be seen, and the girls are making the most of it. Without the rowdy males, the girls can have some fun without having to watch their backs. They set off on a patrol of the perimeter fence. Once they've checked out the neighbourhood, they start to chill out. New girl Kiki, who was recently rescued from the Lebanon, has settled into the group well and has become particularly good friends with Chimp Trudy.
Trudy and Kiki get on really well. The first time they met, really, they seemed drawn to each other. Trudy is a nice, fun-loving animal, and she's obviously a lot smaller than the rest. She's got quite a special status within the group, where she doesn't seem to get involved too much in the politics, but she's never picked on either. So, you know, I think she's a nice, safe friend to have and someone that's a good way of bringing you into the group.
Like Kiki, Trudy led a very lonely existence before she came to the park more than 10 years ago. She was rescued after being badly abused by a circus trainer.
We've seen Trudy and Kiki have some really great play sessions, and that's a nice side of chimp behaviour, I think, that we don't always see. So it's good when two animals bond and they seem to gel, that, you know, they have really good fun together. Play's a really important part. I mean, you obviously see it with the younger chimps in terms of sort of testing their strength and their boundaries and their abilities. But I think with the adults, it's some downtime where you're not worrying about the hierarchy of the group and sort of letting your hair down, so to speak, really. Obviously, it was something that Kiki was denied when she was on her own. So, you know, having that physical contact is really important. You often see the two of them moving around the outside enclosure, even hand-holding, and I'm not sure who's leading who, but obviously it's good for Kiki to have people that she feels very comfortable with as she explores her new home and gets to grips with all the fun that it has to bring.
But all good things come to an end. The boys are back and start to liven things up. Leader Hanania decides he wants to play with Kiki.
You've seen Hanania play with Kiki, and it's a great way to distract those males if they're being a bit full on. A good play session can distract them and bring out their softer natures. It's great that he's doing that with Kiki so early on, because she did struggle a little bit with him at the beginning and with the other males winding her up. So she seems to have gone through that process a bit quicker than some of the other animals that we've introduced into this group.
Valerie, who's normally one of his favourites, tries to woo him away, but today he only has eyes for the new girl. That is, until food appears. He's soon distracted, leaving Kiki and Trudy free to carry on where they left off. At the Siamang Gibbon house, there's finally some good news. Alison has found a new mate for Sam. He's been living on his own since his son Onion tragically died after the veterinary team found an inoperable tumour in his gut.
This looks bad, Alison.
That's all right.
Yeah, I'm very sorry.
It was particularly sad for Sam, as he also lost his partner Sage a couple of years ago.
When I first started looking for a companion for Sam, you know, I sort of first called around local zoos and wildlife parks just to see if they had any individuals that would be appropriate pairing for him. So in my mind, I had, in an ideal situation, a female that's the same age as him, so that they sort of spend their end of days together, because he's getting older now. And finally, actually, I came up with the ideal companion, I hope. It's a female who's 18, 19 years old, so a similar age to Sam. And she's currently living at Dublin Zoo, so not that far away either.
Sam's new friend is called Sasak.
The female who's coming here is already with a partner and one of her offspring. And that pair bond will be sort of cut short quite sharply because they don't want her breeding anymore. And she'll be sent here to be with Sam. He's got a vasectomy. There'll be no more babies. And that will be quite a short, sharp transition for her, whereas Sam's transition has been perhaps more like it would be in the wild, where there's a period where he'll be on his own, actively, potentially looking for a mate, and therefore quite keen to meet a new lady.
Sasak will make the journey across the Irish Sea to Dorset in the next couple of weeks.
He's been trying to tell the world if there are any ladies out there, and we've been able to help him out and track down a lady, so it's only going to be a matter of time now before we can get Sasak over here to meet up with Sam, and then hopefully they'll be able to live out their days together.
There's been a commotion at the lemur enclosure. The group led by Fennel and Kaya have been making rather a lot of noise. Out in their tree-filled enclosure, they're always on the alert for any forms of danger, just as they would be in the wild.
They do what's known as an alarm call, and this is seen if there's something that they feel threatened by. So in the wild, it would be predators or maybe other lemur groups that are encroaching on their territory. Obviously, we don't have those same threats here at Monkey World. So they would alarm call at things like buzzards, maybe a snake or a lizard that they don't particularly know what it is. We also have deer that walk around the fence line quite a lot as well. Most mornings you'll see the deer. That's not something they're really familiar with out in Madagascar, so they see them as a threat. They're quite big as well.
In the wild, there are nearly 100 species of lemurs. At the park, there are just 2. The ringtails, recognised by their distinctive tails, and one ruffed lemur called Blue.
She's a bit of a character. She's the only one that we've got of her type now. She doesn't get on with the ringtail that well. They sort of tolerate each other, but I wouldn't call them friends as such. They don't groom, they don't spend any time together, but they occupy the same space, if you like.
However, when there are signs of danger, Blue sticks with the ringtails.
If she hears the ringtails alarm calling, she'll come over and she'll actually join in with them as well. So this is their territory, even though they're not really a whole group because you've got the 2 different species, but they do all come together for that alarm call to defend their territory.
In Madagascar, the different species of lemurs all live in slightly different environments. The enclosure at the park tries to replicate their natural habitat as much as possible.
It's as near to what they would find in the wild as we can provide, really. It's just a piece of forest. There's trees, there's foliage where they can forage. We provide food for them, but all day you'll see them foraging on the leaves in the trees, and they'll eat the bark and things like that. So yeah, I think it's fabulous for them, and they can just behave in as much of a natural way as possible, really.
At the Orang nursery, Oshine is waking up after her anaesthetic.
Will she sit up, Jeremy? Because she's not going to breathe desperately well like that.
Because Jeremy has such a good relationship with Oshine, he's able to stay with her.
It was me, I'm the bad guy.
It's a rare luxury, really, because the majority of orangutans, or apes for that matter, you wouldn't tolerate somebody in there with them. Oshine's a bit different given her history, and it's terribly convenient for us that you can do that. We can watch her move around a bit more and her colour, etc., because if we'd just left her, there's every chance she'd curl up in the corner and that would be it. And you just see a ball of orangutan, difficult to assess. So this is actually very good.
Oshine is woozy from the effects of the drugs. John is always anxious at this point of a procedure.
You have to be a little bit careful about this. This is called recovery phase. And in my career, I've lost 3, all in recovery, all at this time. They come round, or they apparently seem to come round, and then they crash. So it's not a 100% safe period.
Finally, with Jeremy's help, Oshine finds her feet.
Better go.
She's bewildered by all the fuss, but makes the most of being with Jeremy.
That's pretty.
A few more whiffs of oxygen seem to do the trick. Now she's up and about, her new friend baby Silvestre is allowed to visit.
Silvestre, come on, buddy. Good boy.
Oshine is enjoying all the attention. She's now having her hands oiled. This is a regular treatment the orangs have to keep their skin in good condition.
Good girl. We've kept a closer eye on Oshine today, just to check that she is eating and drinking well. She's really happy to be back with Silvestre. She's pretty much back to her usual self now.
The park's first ever patas monkeys, Mitsa and Sissy Joe, are being allowed out into their new enclosure for the first time. Mitsa was recently rescued from Slovenia, where she'd been kept as a pet. Sissy Joe came from a sanctuary in Cornwall. Until now, they've been kept inside to give them a chance to get used to their new surroundings.
Today we thought we'd try and relax things a little bit more and let them outside into their new outdoor area for the very first time. So it'll be very interesting to see because, you know, Mitsa really hasn't had the ability to move around freely for more than 3 years now. And both of them are in an entirely new environment. So it'll be interesting to see who's the bravest, who gets on with things, and who leads the way.
Sissy Joe is unfazed and calmly begins to explore. She seems to have had no problems settling into her new home.
We were a little bit worried about how she would adapt and whether she'd be frightened of men. Apparently she's a little bit skittish in the wind, all of these different things. But to be quite honest, you can see, you know, I've not known her that long. She's very happy walking on past me. It is a blustery day. Doesn't seem to be a problem with that. And she's getting around and exploring her new home. So it's really nice to see, and I'm hoping that Mitsa will sort of see that she's quite calm and relaxed about everything and take her lead and come out nice and slow.
But Mitsa is more reluctant. She's had a lot to deal with over the last few weeks. Leaving her home and getting used to a new life with another patas monkey. She was kept in a cage in Slovenia because her owner couldn't handle her.
Her world has been that small cage for 3 years, so she might be a little bit agoraphobic. So I'm hoping that, you know, Mitsa will take her time, but that she will get used to coming outside and follow Sissy Joe's lead very quickly. It will be only a matter of time because I said this about Mitsa when I first met her. You can see that she's a very stubborn and potentially spoiled lady. And I don't think there's any way on this planet that she's going to allow Sissy Joe to take control of this outside domain without having an opinion about it. So
She's holding back right now, but I think it's only a matter of time.
Finally, Mitza decides to give it a go. She spots Sissy Joe and immediately starts grooming.
Grooming is actually a really social behaviour for all primates. It creates bonds within individuals throughout the group, and it also encourages the trust, which is really important as well. And the more that they groom, the closer that they become together. So the more grooming we see, the better it is for them. I think slowly is the way forward with these, and obviously we can just learn by their behaviour whether they're enjoying each other's company or whether they actually want a bit of space from each other, and we'll just go from that, and if they feel confident then so will we, and we'll just gradually keep them together for longer until they then are together full time. It's been a bit of a bumpy road, but we're definitely getting there, so fingers crossed.
This time on Monkey Life. Emergency surgery for Capuchin Diaz.
Unfortunately, Diaz got quite a nasty injury. It's quite a big slash wound.
Staff prepare to welcome Sam's new mate, Sasak.
We're putting up some housing, some baskets and stuff to put her food in to make sure she can actually move around the enclosure comfortably.
And Oshine shows her softer side to baby Silvestre.
We've really been quite impressed with Oshine's maternal instincts.
Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. For 25 years, the team have been rescuing and rehabilitating primates from all over the world.
We've really done everything we can to make her journey as smooth as possible.
The park is run by Dr. Alison Cronin and is home to more than 240 monkeys and apes. It's early morning and animal director Jeremy Keeling is on his way to the Capuchin house. There's been an emergency.
We were just sort of releasing the animals into the enclosure and we heard a scuffle in one of the bedrooms, and unfortunately Diaz got quite a nasty injury. It's quite a big slash wound to his mouth.
Diaz is currently living with Bruce, Archie, Joey and new arrival Tao. But no one knows who the culprit is.
We didn't exactly see who actually did it, but Capuchin monkeys have very, very sharp teeth, so it can do a lot of damage.
Diaz is going to need the wound stitched. So over at the park's hospital, the theatre is being prepared.
The plan today is to give him an anaesthetic and then to clean up and flush out and suture the wound.
This kind of incident isn't uncommon among captive capuchins who are living in close proximity.
We've had 2 or 3 of this nature on the cheek, you know, the Chelsea smiles. I'm pretty sure it was just an isolated, you know, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time, because there's no reason to think other than that. You know, you've always got bad guys and good guys in any group, family situation, and of course the more individuals you've got in that group, then the more chances of there being disputes. You just sort him out, stitch him up and back in the ring for another go.
At the moment, the Capuchin team are in the lodge and they're just preparing Diaz to go into the crate. He's actually had a pre-medication just to calm the nerves down.
Jeremy has managed to get Diaz into a box for his trip to the hospital. Cesar Sastre, one of the park's veterinary team, has been called in. This isn't the first time Diaz has been in a scuffle, but he's never had such a serious injury before. The pre-med has taken effect. Thesar wants to make sure Diaz is asleep before they proceed.
He's quite dopey now on the midazolam. When I caught him, he wasn't.
That's what I'm thinking. Well, let's give him a bit of gas. It's going to give us a good 30 minutes. Yeah? I'm going to give that up.
At least have a look at him.
It's going to be cut all the way through, so it's going to be on the oral mucosa, so on the inner part of the mouth. So I will need to stitch up pretty much both sides, the external and internal.
Repairing this wound is not going to be straightforward. Diaz will need a lot of stitches. Thesar is keen to get underway as soon as possible. It's a big day for the park's only Siamang Gibbon. Sam is about to have some company at last. His son Onion died recently when the veterinary team found an inoperable tumour in his gut. Alison was determined to find Sam a new partner. She searched far and wide and finally came up with a suitable mate. Sasak is a female Siamang currently living at Dublin Zoo. She'll be arriving this evening. The primate care staff are preparing a temporary house for her.
Ryan, do you want to attach that to that hose behind you?
Sasak is perfect for Sam as she's fairly elderly and has already had several offspring. But it'll be unsettling for her to leave the family she's currently with.
We're putting up some hosing, some baskets and stuff to put her food in to make sure she can actually move around the enclosure comfortably, make it as homely for her and welcome as possible. We're just putting some browse up for Sasak so that when she comes out tomorrow morning, it's nice and welcoming and it's kind of got a bit of natural food for her to eat. And also she can kind of hide amongst it and just feel a bit more like she's in a natural environment.
When Sasak arrives, she'll be kept in these bedrooms to give her time to settle. This will also be where she'll meet Sam.
We use this house really for doing introductions because you never know what could happen. So by having these smaller bedrooms, it means that we have the control whilst we're doing that.
Everyone is looking forward to the imminent arrival.
It's really exciting for us, but obviously the biggest concern is for Sam and his happiness. He has been a little bit down of late, but he has recovered really well from his bereavement. And now we just hope that he's going to get on really well with her and they're going to have a really happy future together.
At the hospital, Diaz is about to be stitched up. Early this morning, he suffered a nasty slash on his face when he got involved in a scuffle with the other boys. Like most of the capuchins at the park, Diaz was rescued from Chile, where he'd spent all his life in a laboratory being used for research.
He's very sleepy, so I think we can mask straight away. Yeah.
The primates are only ever put under anaesthetic when absolutely necessary because of the risks involved. So this is a perfect opportunity to check Diaz over and make sure he has no other obvious health problems.
The pulse is very fast at the moment, it's 180. His stomach feels normal, that's good. That muscle that you can see here is the masseter muscle, is the masticatory one, the one that you use to chew. And yeah, I thought it was going to be broken all along here, but it's not. So just stitch up that little hole that you can see in there, and then the skin all across is fairly clean. Surely we can clip it and clean it well.
Penny shaves Diaz because the area needs to be as sterile as possible to avoid him catching any kind of infection.
It's actually a very fresh wound. It's just taking a few bits out here. And that is what I'm going to stitch up first. And we go layer by layer. So we go starting the deep area and then coming back.
Thesar is using dissolvable stitches to avoid having to anaesthetize Diaz a second time.
This is an absorbable material, so it's going to be absorbed. So we are not going to leave any external stitches.
It's a delicate procedure. Thésar is having to sew the muscle inside Diaz's cheek as well as the outer skin on his face.
3 layers pretty much is what you have to do with these things, and you hide all the stitches inside. Ideally here you should put external stitches, but it's gonna pick them as soon as it wakes up. That's the problem with these animals.
But Thésar has thought of a clever way to stop Diaz picking at his stitches.
I'm gonna put a couple, well, few external stitches for him to play.
A distraction?
Yep, yeah, this is pure distraction for him to play with. So that's it. Okay, let's see how many of those external ones are there tomorrow. Huh?
Yeah.
With the wound successfully sewn, Diaz is wrapped up to keep his body temperature from plummeting as he comes round.
Anesthesias drop temperature a lot, and particularly the smaller the animal, the more chances to have problems.
Thésar gives Diaz an injection to wake him up. But the little Capuchin shows no signs of stirring. The team are becoming concerned.
Come on, Diaz.
Still very sleepy. Well, you have to wake up now.
Thésar tests for a reflex. Still nothing.
Right, let's turn you around. Ah, that's good. Oh, that's really nice, thank you.
To everyone's relief, Diaz starts to wake up.
He's got proper reflex, and he's breathing much faster now.
The next few hours are critical for Diaz. Jeremy and the team will keep a close eye on him to make sure he fully recovers and doesn't get into any more fights with the boys. Things are changing at the Orang nursery. Oshine is finally beginning to fit in with the others. And it's all down to baby Silvestre, who's discovered her softer side. The big orangutan was brought up as a pet in South Africa, where she was used to getting her own way. She'd never come across other orangs until she arrived at the park, and didn't know how to behave around them. However, when Silvestre was rehomed from a zoo in Spain recently, staff hoped Oshine would take a shine to the baby and take him under her wing.
His early start in life was clearly a good one, even though his mother didn't care for him. He's gregarious, he's open-minded, he's not introverted and frightened of new things. Whenever he meets anybody new, human or orangutan, out comes the hand to say hello.
And Oshine was no exception. It took a little while for her to acknowledge him, but he finally began to make inroads.
She was a little bit unsure at first. She really just didn't know what to do with Silvestre. But what was clear is what we've always known about Oshine. She's actually got a really lovely temperament inside of that big body of hers. And once, we took things slowly and she could see that he wasn't going to be a challenge or a threat to her, she welcomed him with open arms.
Now the two of them are rarely apart.
We've really been quite impressed with Oshine's maternal instincts. I mean, it's not bad going considering that she's never seen any other mother and youngster relationships occurring. She looks after him and makes sure that things aren't getting out of control, and mainly, she always knows where he is. She's got what looks like quite a vice-like grip around either a wrist or an ankle, holding him close, making sure that he's participating in whatever she does.
The other orangs in the nursery, Linga, Dinda and Jolie, all love playing with Silvestre, but Oshine keeps a motherly eye on him.
She really is quite sort of protective. She keeps off a little bit. Always out of the corner of her eye, she watching him. If the others start to get too interested or too boisterous, out comes the big hand. She grabs hold of a wrist or an ankle and just reels him back in again.
Silvestre may have gained a mum, but Oshine is benefiting too.
It's easy to look at Oshine and Silvestre's relationship and say, oh, isn't that lovely for the baby? But actually, this relationship might even be more critical for Oshine than it is for Silvestre. Everybody loves him, but Oshine's a different case. She's a very big girl, she's fully mature now, so she has a lot of catching up and relearning to do. With Silvestre on board, it's breaking down a lot of those barriers, and I think the others are now beginning to see that Oshine has a caring side to her. With the arrival of Silvestre and everything else, I really feel that she's turned a corner. Her face is just so much more relaxed, and she seems to have almost an optimistic twinkle in her eye.
Oshine isn't the only one who's been making friends. Another recent arrival has been settling in well and is about to go outside for the first time. Woolly monkey Sarah has been rehomed from a zoo in the United States. She's joined Bueno's group, and it's hoped eventually she'll breed. For the last few days, she's been getting to know the others.
So far, the group are doing really, really well together, and today's the first time we're going to let them outside, and fingers crossed that it'll go well.
Paolo, Bueno and Urema are all keen to go out into the enclosure after being shut up inside. 3-year-old Paolo lets off some steam on the hoses. But it's all very new for Sarah.
We waited a few days to let the group out just so that they had a chance to spend time close together, make sure that we could determine if there were going to be any serious problems.
Paolo, ever the exhibitionist, is keen to show her the ropes.
Paolo really likes Sarah and is spending a lot of time playing with her and enjoying himself.
She does begin to follow Paolo's lead. But he playfully sabotages her attempt to walk the hose. Woolly monkeys have prehensile tails, which makes them great acrobats. The tail acts as a 5th limb. In the wild, this is very useful as it means they can balance and grip onto branches to grab food below. Sarah makes good use of hers to stop Paolo shaking her off. Staff are keeping a close eye on Urema. Being the dominant female in the group, her nose may have been put out of joint by the arrival of another adult female.
Urema's been friendly, but there was a slight bit of tension there. We're hoping that's just because they've been confined inside together and hopefully they'll relax now that they've got a bit more space.
Bueno watches from the sidelines and clearly has eyes for the new girl.
Bueno and Sarah have developed sort of quite a close friendship. Bueno's obviously very attracted to her. She's playing hard to get at the moment.
It's one thing getting the primates to go outside, quite another persuading them to come back in at the end of the day.
All we've got to do now is to get Sarah used to the routine so that she knows when she needs to come back in.
Paolo leads the way, and to the relief of the woolly monkey team, Sarah follows.
Now that we know there's not any serious problems, fingers crossed everything's going to go really well.
Hi, anyone want some insects?
Capuchin monkey Diaz has recovered from his anaesthetic and is now back with the boys. Earlier today, he had to be rushed to the hospital after keepers found him with a nasty slash wound on his face. They still don't know who was responsible, but doubt it was done deliberately.
When we first got him back, he was obviously a bit groggy and things from the anaesthetic, but we've put him back in with a little group, so he's with Archie, Bruce, Tao and Joey. We wanted to get Diaz back in with his friends as soon as possible. We do find that when they do start to pick up wounds and things, it's generally when they've got less to do and there's less animals around to keep them company. So we thought we'll keep him busy, he's got lots of friends to groom with, lots of rooms to go between, and hopefully that will stop him being focused on the stitches.
Diaz needed almost 20 stitches.
He's obviously aware that there's something there. He keeps sort of every so often like just pushing at it or maybe sort of stretching his mouth out a bit, which is perfectly natural. It's obviously going to feel weird, but he's not actually, whereas some animals can be really focused and pick away at it, we've not seen him doing that yet. So hopefully he'll sort of carry on and just be aware of it, and then as the stitches dissolve over time and it heals, it will just be better for him.
his sore mouth doesn't seem to have put him off his food.
We've been offering him extra things like supplements of milkshake and rice pudding and things he likes, and he's shown no problem eating anything that we've offered him.
Tao, Bruce, Joey and Archie seem pleased to have Diaz back, and so far there hasn't been any more trouble.
A few of them have sort of gone up and looked at his face a little bit. Whether that's just a friendly greeting or whether they're aware that something is different, I don't know, but they're not focused or sort of pulling at it, which is the important thing to us. Obviously, when we saw the wound, it looked really painful and we felt really bad for him because he was pushing a lot at his mouth and obviously really bothered by it, and it was obviously very stressful for him. So it's great that he seems less bothered now and is going about his daily business as normal.
It's 8 p.m. and the park's new Siamang Gibbon Sasak is about to arrive. Her journey from Dublin Zoo has taken more than 8 hours, so the team are keen to get her settled as soon as possible. The plan is for Sasak to stay in this bedroom on her own overnight, so she can rest before meeting her new partner, Sam.
Hello, sweetheart.
It's obviously been a really long journey for her, and it won't be until the morning until she really gets her bearings. This is all completely alien and different for her.
Now they need to persuade Sasak to come out of her travel crate.
Come on, Sasak. Sasak.
Oh.
But she's wary.
Come on. It's all right. Good girl. It's all right.
She's nervous, I think. Lots of unfamiliar faces all around the box, and she's obviously been in there for a while, and this is a completely new environment. It's dark. She was sleeping when she arrived.
Eventually, she does pluck up the courage to start exploring.
Good girl.
It's all right.
I think we'll keep it low-key now and just make sure she's okay, and then really leave her for the evening to get a good night's sleep. It's a huge sense of relief, obviously, when they arrive and to see her safely inside the enclosure. And actually, she was really nervous when she first came out of the box, but she's gone into every room and she is exploring, and we've given her a few sleeping options. I mean, there's obviously benches in there, but we've also put up some hammocks and a basket, so she's got a choice of where she decides to settle down for the night. Hopefully she'll hear Sam calling in the morning and know that there's another Siamang nearby. I think we'll see how she's eaten overnight and just give her a good check and get to know her, really.
Today on Monkey Life, Alison is in Liverpool to rescue a baby marmoset.
The fact that he's being kept in a small hamster cage is just ridiculous.
There's tension at the Siamang house when Sam finally meets new mate Sasak.
I think we all want to get out of here now because he's getting upset.
And Oshine shows the other orangs who's boss. Monkey World in Dorset is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet.
Here we go.
The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate unwanted and abused primates from all over the world.
They're all going to have a chance to live proper lives again. Perfect.
The park is home to more than 240 monkeys and apes. The aim is to give them as natural a life as possible. In the UK, it's not against the law to keep primates as pets. But a lot of people who have monkeys don't know how to look after them. The park rehomes as many as it can. Some, like Kaya the lemur, or squirrel monkey Fidget, had owners who simply couldn't cope when the primate's natural instincts left them frustrated and aggressive. Others, like Capuchin monkey Gizmo, were confiscated after being found living in appalling conditions. And then there are those who have suffered at the hands of dealers, who benefit hugely from trading in primates. Alison is often called out in cases like these. Today, she's in Liverpool because someone has reported seeing a baby marmoset for sale in a pet shop living in a tiny hamster cage.
There is a legalized pet trade in exotic animals in Britain today. Primates feature quite a lot in this quote-unquote legal trade, but you know, most often I find that the animals are suffering and often fall short of the law in terms of the animal welfare bills that protect wild animals in this country. And often the dealers get so greedy that they simply start mass-producing animals, often without the appropriate paperwork, and then fall foul of the law in terms of the legalities of permits required.
An officer from Merseyside Police went undercover to the pet shop to confirm the story about the marmoset and discovered the owner didn't have the appropriate licence to sell it. The police are now planning to go back to the shop to seize the marmoset and have asked Monkey World for help.
Obviously, the situation that we have, if we arrive there and we find that there are primates that need to be seized to secure their safety, then they're the experts. I don't want to be doing that myself because I wouldn't know where to start.
Armed with a warrant, the officers arrive at the shop. The sting involving Alison, the police and the RSPCA has been dubbed Operation Solomon. The owner has to let the police in, but not our camera crew. Half an hour later, they emerge from the shop. They've had a shock. The marmoset Rachel had seen wasn't there, but they did find something else.
What we did find was a body in the freezer. It's not good news. I haven't undone it to see if it's the infant, if it's an adult, what it is. All I know is that I've got a small primate in a bag in the ice now that I'm taking back to the park and we'll post-mortem and identify. We're now going over to the chap's house. He's admitted he's got at least one other primate, if not more, at the house. One dead so far, and we'll see what else we can save out of this nightmare.
The RSPCA accompany the police on raids like this because they're never sure exactly what they're going to discover. At the house, the team find the baby marmoset, along with 4 others. But the owner claims he's keeping them as pets, which isn't illegal. However, Alison is worried about the welfare of the monkeys.
You talk us through your concerns. Yeah. And then we'll make a decision on what we need to do next. And if some of your concerns make us think that a veterinary surgeon should be called down to give us that certification for those animals to be removed, then we'll do that. Yeah.
It's a tricky situation because the team can't prove the monkeys are being sold or kept illegally. They have to tread carefully to keep within the law.
Even if this is meant to supposedly be temporary, you don't get the animals ahead of... I mean, that all might be very nice and acceptable someday, but what I'm seeing right now is not.
Alison's concerned about the way the owner feeds the marmoset. She's seen him syringing food straight into the monkey's mouth, rather than letting the marmoset lick the syringe himself. This is dangerous because it could cause the monkey to inhale the food. Rachel decides they can confiscate this marmoset because of its inadequate housing in a hamster cage and because of fears for its safety.
Right, let's get him into the warm.
We have removed a baby marmoset due to concerns on 2 bases. We believe that there may be issues around the manner in which it's been fed, and secondly, the primary reason for seizing that primate was that we do believe at this time it has been offered for sale in an unlicensed premises.
You're all right, little man.
Unfortunately, they have no grounds to confiscate the other 4 marmosets. Alison is worried about their living conditions, but the RSPCA say they'll caution the owner and give him 24 hours to clean up his act. So for now, It's just one marmoset who's on the way to a new family and a new life at Monkey World. In Dorset, staff are preparing a special treat at the Orang nursery. They're filling a large barrel full of surprises. As well as wood wool and footballs, there are plenty of snacks for the orangs. But the staff have a cunning plan. They're also adding olive oil.
The problem they have is that they get very dry skin in their hands and feet. In their natural habitat, it's much more humid. And apart here, especially in winter with the heating on, their skin just gets so dry.
The oil will help keep the orang's skin supple and their hair in good condition.
They have to feed their hands through the holes and go around, fiddle around with the footballs to get their food, so when they take the hands out, they're all oily. The only thing is that they make a mess everywhere because obviously they get very, very oily, so they go to the windows and they get everything oily.
Whenever there's food around, Oshine is straight in there. And these days, baby Silvestre is never far behind. Oshine doesn't exert herself unless she needs to, but she soon realises it's worth the effort and manages to hog the barrel.
Obviously, Oshine is more dominant than the girls. It's her barrel, and then when she has enough, then all the girls can have a go.
Oshine does allow Silvestre to have a few scraps, but when Linga tries her luck, she shoos her away. However, with her back turned, clever Dinda manages to sneak an oily grape without Oshine noticing. Bolstered by Dinda's success, Linga and Jolie join her for a joint attack, but Oshine isn't going to be caught out again. However, all good things come to those who wait. And in her eagerness to get at the goodies, Oshine loses her grip. Leaving the way clear for Silvestre to help himself. The girls are quick to take advantage of the situation too. Mission accomplished. They've all got greasy hands, and Oshine makes sure none of the oil goes to waste. Alison is on her way back to the park with the baby marmoset she rescued during a police raid in Liverpool. After a couple of hours, she stops to check on him.
Come on, little boy. There you go. He's actually very mobile, and that was part of the problem that we were discussing there on site, is that whether the guy's been given advice or not on how to do that, the fact that he's being kept in a small hamster cage is just ridiculous. He's having to splay his legs out sideways to crawl over the top of the box, which is what he wants to do. And it's just appalling. I mean, anybody can look at this and see that this is simply appalling.
Alison is upset that she's had to leave the other marmosets in Liverpool.
Breaks my heart that I've had to leave behind a pair of very young adolescent Jeffroy's marmosets. And sat on top of their cage on the floor is in a tiny plastic carrier box a pair of still sort of adolescent common marmosets. Very concerned that those two pairs of marmosets don't actually stand very much of a chance of survival at all. We'll see. Hopefully this little guy will be able to live at the rest of his days with ours at Monkey World. I'm really sort of quite excited and pleased for him now. Hopefully tomorrow will be a new day for this little lad and he'll be able to live like a marmoset again.
Siamang Gibbon Sasak has spent her first night at Monkey World. She's been brought over from Dublin Zoo as a partner for Sam.
She's going to be probably feeling a little bit lonely and a little bit unsure. You know, it's all new faces, it's a new environment, but it's important to make her realise that, you know, this isn't going to be it for her. We're not going to keep her on her own. We have got a partner lined up, so we need to get Sam down here and do the initial assessment, really, of how they're going to take to each other and whether they're going to get on.
Animal director Jeremy Keeling and the Gibbon team head down to Sam's enclosure to collect him.
It's really exciting and it's really the perfect outcome for Sam. I mean, obviously, when we started the search for a companion for Sam, the ideal would have been a female that was similar in age, and that's exactly what we've got. And he's such a sweet-natured male that I think he will put Sasak at ease. And if she is feeling a bit shy and a bit overwhelmed, hopefully Sam will make everything better.
The plan is to move Sam to the house where Sasak is, because it's more suitable for introductions.
It's all right, mate. No, don't do anything silly now, Sam.
You don't know.
All right, Sam. Calm down, buddy.
While they're getting to know each other, Sam's tree-filled enclosure will be updated and the fences secured, so they can both then move back.
Sam, it's all right, buddy. Come on, mate. It's all right. Well done, Sam.
It's the thing that's so fascinating about animal management is that you don't know what he'll make of Sasak. We do know that Sam's quite an easygoing male and he's very accommodating, and he obviously has missed the company of Sage and his son. So I think he's going to be glad to see another Siamang.
Sasak is blissfully unaware she's about to have company.
Come on then, Sam. Hey, oh, like lightning.
They've put Sam in the bedrooms opposite Sasak so that they can see each other but can't have any contact for the time being.
Hey, Sasak, who's this come to say hi?
The two Gibbons seem to be getting agitated, so Jeremy decides to leave them alone.
I think we all want to get out of here now because he's getting upset.
Sam shot straight into the house, so I think he was relieved to be out of the box so soon. And he's a bit frantic at the moment, actually. He's moving around and just getting his bearings, and I think, actually, he didn't even notice Sasak for the first few minutes. But I think he's clocked her now, and he's just really getting to know the space. So we'll let them calm down, but I don't think we'll do anything today. We'll just let them settle down, and then maybe they can meet tomorrow morning.
It's unusually calm at the chimp nursery. Young Rodders is playing on his own. And Ash is fairly quiet too. But all that is about to change. Staff are constantly coming up with ways to keep the group entertained and make them work for their treats.
In here we're just some plain pillowcases. We've put some straw and some exciting scatter items, and they've got like a prize whole fruit. So in this one we've got a pear, but some of them have apples and some nice things inside. We like to try and vary the types of enrichment. This one's really quite successful in that they have to first of all, they have to open the knot to get to open the pillowcase, and then obviously there's straw in there, so they've got to filter through the straw to get to the scatter items, and then the bonus is they find the whole fruit as well. So it's lots of complicated things just to keep them busy, really. When we throw them out, obviously, it's a bit of a free-for-all because everyone will try and grab as many as they can. It's usually just Ash and Brian that have to do a bit more running.
As predicted, leader Sally immediately starts claiming the pillowcases, as does second-in-command Lulu. Being the dominant chimps, they're always first in line when there's food around. Brian is keen to get his hands on one, but Sally's keeping a tight hold on hers. He then tries his luck with Lulu, but she isn't interested in sharing either. She may only have one arm, but that hasn't stopped her grabbing more than her fair share. Rodders has managed to acquire one, but to his disappointment, it's empty. Brian then comes across another pillowcase, but realises all those treats have gone too. Desperate to get a piece of the action, he pursues first Lulu, then Sally. Ash isn't faring any better. The three youngsters have definitely come off worse today. Although Brian's perseverance does pay off when he manages to steal Sally's leftovers. The baby marmoset Alison rescued from Liverpool during a police raid is getting used to its new surroundings.
Actually, on the journey back home yesterday, I got to know a little bit more about him. We think we know that we've got a little boy, and he got christened. So the name of the police operation yesterday was Solomon. So if indeed he's a little boy, he's been christened Solomon, so now at least we've got somebody to refer to. And, you know, his eating habits we're getting to learn about, and that is the critical bit about what happens to him in terms of his future right now. Marmosets are primarily what's called exudate feeders. So what that means is that they gouge tree bark and then lick up the sap that comes flowing out of trees in the wild. So for me, an animal this size and based upon the way an adult marmoset would eat, letting him lick from a dropper is the best way forward, because that's how he will continue to eat any liquid foods that we provide him into the future.
Alison thinks Solomon is about 10 weeks old now. He's had a traumatic life so far, being taken away from his mum. And a post-mortem on the monkey found in the freezer at the pet shop has confirmed that it was probably Solomon's twin.
I think he's more than ready to go and join one of our groups of marmosets here at the park. He's very bright, he's very active, he's quite coordinated. He's at the point where he really needs attention of other marmosets rather than human beings. It's the perfect time. It's critical for his development that he get with other marmosets at this stage in his life, and I think he's just such a lovely little chap that they're all going to love him just as much as we do.
There are 12 marmosets at the park. Staff have decided to put Solomon in with Gabby. They're hoping she might act as a foster mum. Solomon is scared. He's been kept in the hamster cage for so long, he doesn't want to come out.
Solomon! Come on, little man. Should we let Gabby in? What do you think?
And see what she does. Might encourage him to come out and see what she is.
Yeah.
Gabby enters but keeps her distance, allowing Solomon to approach her. He latches on and has no intention of letting go.
Little Solomon's only been with us less than, well, only about 12 hours or something like that now, and not only has he been christened, but we've given him an adult female to go with. They sniffed each other once or twice, and he just went, launched at her and grabbed hold of her in a vice, and you can still see his little muscles flexing and his heart beating on his side, and he's got her almost in a headlock. And clearly all of that instinct to be with his mother and to be with other marmosets is just so strong that he's now not gonna let go of Gabby. And it's just, you know, it can almost make me cry, but at the same time, I'm really happy that, he's sorted right now. He needs to understand that she's not going anywhere, we're not gonna take him away, and that he can relax and have little scampers off of her. I'm really pleased that she hasn't turned aggressive towards him. I think this will all calm down in about an hour or so. Oh, isn't that lovely? Little two faces side by side. He's just nuzzling up against her and loving her to bits. It's fantastic. Really lovely.
It's a happy ending for Solomon, but not for the other 4 marmosets Alison discovered at the house in Liverpool. When the RSPCA went to check on them the next day, they disappeared. Solomon's owner was taken to court and banned for life from ever keeping a pet shop or trading in animals again.